What is up? What's going on, good people? What's going on, good people? Mic check 1 2. We are in here ready to go. We are in here ready to go. Gonna have another lively Friday show for you. So make sure you come on in. You already know the deal. You know the routine. Make sure you hit the like button before we get this thing started. Make sure you hit the like button before we even get this thing all the way going. Right? You're catching it live or you're catching after it's uploaded. You already know what to do. Hit that like button. I've been sighing before every show. Because every show I say this is the last time I'm talking about it. But the story that just won't die. So much going on, so much going on. So much going on, but nothing going on all at the same time. So much going on, but nothing going on all at the same time. So we're going to be getting into that. Going to be breaking down a lot of just the thought process of this space. This space is the Black ManoSphere. We were told by numerous people that we're out here trying to save Kiesha. That's the whole mission. That's what y'all are doing all of this for. Y'all trying to save Kiesha. Y'all trying to say, y'all out there saving hoes. That's the story. That's the story. But it's funny because a lot of the same people was like, oh, y'all worshiping this white woman. Y'all, I think, do we worship white women or are we trying to save Kiesha? Which one? What's going on here? What's going on here? It's like the talking points get crazy, and they get crazy, and the contradictions come out of the same mouth of the same person. Contradictory things, sort of like how they say on one hand, y'all a bunch of serial impregnators who don't take care of y'all kids, and on the other hand, the space full of incels who can't get no sex. Can't be both of those at the same time. Somewhere, some way, somehow, this space has to get its story together. And by this space, I mean the detractors of it, the detractors within it, and the whole works. But we're about to get all the way into that. We're about to get all the way into that because this whole Pearl thing is exposing a lot. It is exposing a lot, but we're about to get into it. I'm putting a link in the chat early because I do want to talk about it. I do want to hear your thoughts. I do want to hear some debate on this point. So let's get ready to go. Let's strap on in. Let's get ready to go. Let's get it.
Peace, folks. This is X from TPOT Media. Open your mind and wake your black ass up. You know what time it is. Hit that damn like button as you make your way in the door. Grab a seat, settle in, get ready. It's the Grown Man Hour with your host, my man, Bernard Riley.
What's up? What's going on, everybody? Make sure y'all know it. Y'all know what y'all need to do. You know you need to hit the like button, whether you're catching it live or you're catching it after it's uploaded. Make sure you hit the like button. Strap on in. Shout out to Little Rock 2517 in the building. Got to shout out to Early Bird Squad. Those are making it in bright and early before we even get things started. Shout out to RM says hit the like button on the way. Oh, Rod, you early, brother. You're early down there in the back. Let me get into it. Rod done just just hopped up early on me. Don't just hop up this early. I put that link in the chat for RM so you can work the ones and twos in the back. But no, we definitely gonna get into it. We definitely gonna get into it. Let me lay out my case, and then I definitely want to hear from you and everyone else a little later on. I want to hear from you and everyone else a little later on. But shout out to the Mayan King Revisited. Says, definitely not trying to save Kiesha. Well, no, that is the argument. That is the argument that we've been told. That is the argument that we've been told, and our whole motivation and the critique, the assault that the Black Manosphere lays on thick and heavy on Black the actions, behaviors, thought process, and psychology of Black women. That the whole reason for that is they trying to save Kiesha. That's they're trying to say they out there trying to save hoes. That's the argument. That's the argument. That is the argument. It is funny because a lot of women that support this space are turning on this space. They don't mess with this space. No, well, very, very, very critical of this space because how these men everybody is like a weird thing has happened where the Manosphere was like the ultimate anti-simp. It somehow got called a simp for its critique on the women because we're supposedly trying to save them. And then all of a sudden, this whole controversy with this white woman come along, and now it's like, oh, they trying to save this white woman. What if we was trying to save Kiesha and pander? I mean, it's a weird dynamic. It's a weird dynamic. I'm going to get into it once I get past shouting everybody out. I'm going to get into it and break this down to the molecule. This whole thing is going on with Deacon Dave in the building. Shout out to you, JC the Conqueror. Shout out to you, says Let's Go, TD Hutch in the building. The Clue Channel in the building with the $5 super chat rate to start it off just right. Way to start it off just right before the show even start. Appreciate that. RM says he gotta flip the flapjacks while they're hot. Absolutely snazzy individual. Hoop jargon in the building says this white woman has so many niggas. It's pathetic. Absolutely. JC the Conqueror says gaslighting one-on-one. Game Changer says Kiesha lives matter. Shout out to Theo Wuff says we are SYSBM. Don't care about Kiesha. Well, it is a lot of people on that SYSBM side of the aisle, and I call them the hater sphere side of the aisle, who makes the argument that the Black Manosphere is just trying to save Kiesha. We about to get into that, pick apart that, and break that down to the molecule, leave it for dead. But shout out to everybody, and I do want some debate on this. If you think one of the ulterior motives of this space is these dudes are out here trying to save Kiesha, then you gotta explain the magical white girl. I don't know what's going on with that. But Shannon Washington in the building says Kiesha need to be accountable. Still love my sisters. I see you. I hear you. I don't do the whole sister, brother, king, queen jargon. I don't do all that. But all right. Yes, what's good people? Keep cooking, BR. All right. Got to get into it. This last one I read. Kuda says, you got to lower the music, BR. Don't have it on Unity. It should be 3 to 4 ticks below Unity. I set it at, it's playing through the StreamYard, and I think the StreamYard is set at 25. Like 25. So it's, but point well taken. I can't hear it. I ain't got the headsets on. Maybe it was too loud. Maybe it wasn't. But we'll drop it. We'll drop it down. We'll drop it down a little bit. Going forward. But no. But anyway, let's get on into it. Appreciate each and every one of you coming into the building. Appreciate each and every one of you coming into the building. Here's the deal. This is something that happened. And I was almost going to make the show all about this. I was going to cover the breakdown and how so many women, the women that we let in the space, that we have no control on how they get in the space. And a lot of them, like Danica Marie, we didn't even know that they existed until they had 80,000 subs. Those women that we let in the space that was already thriving before we ever heard of them. a lot of them, are it's like their angle on it, their angle on this is, they're pissed. They're pissed. And one of the arguments that I heard is this, is that the women of the space, and I shouldn't even say of the space, I really don't consider them of the space, but I do know this is true about them. I do know this is true about them, that they spend, I would say, an inordinate amount of time, I would say, being careful, walking on eggshells, trying not to say nothing to piss the brothers off, trying to make sure that they do everything. We're not talking about them. We're not talking about them, game changer. We're not talking. Wait, I don't even know who you're talking about. Who's the Shitlin? Who's the Shitlin women? I don't know. We're not talking about them. They spend an inordinate amount of time walking on eggshells. I'm talking about, the ones, the ones who, the Nika Maries of the world. They don't want to say nothing to piss off the brethren. You know, I'm pretty sure there's some things that they've seen and heard and observed what black men and seen black men do, but they made sure that they treaded carefully to not, come at brothers sideways. And so the argument that I heard, that I don't fully agree with it, but I understand, they're mad and they're pissed at this magical white girl because, we've been walking on eggshells, basically catering, practically pandering to you Negroes, trying not to say nothing wrong to offend or hit the hornet's nest. But then this white chick, she could just say whatever the hell. She could just say whatever the hell, and y'all okay with it. They're pissed about that. They're legitimately pissed about that. And then so the women, it's like a lot of the black women, a lot of the big name black women with big channels, they turned and kind of, not I won't say turned and flipped on the space, but they're pissed at what they're seeing. They're pissed at what they're seeing. I think that's the steel man of their argument. The other side of that argument is that the white girl just triggers everybody. The white girl just triggers everybody. That's the side of it coming from if you're looking at the angle of the black women who are content creators in this space. That's still man in their argument. The other part of it, the white girl just triggers everybody because so many people, more people than what I realized, put on the dashiki, became very Hotepian with this stuff. And it's that part is still a bit puzzling. He says ManoSphere is by men, for men, and of men to elevate and educate and deracinate. I don't even know what that word is. Men regarding the overreach of the tyrannical government and the daily lives of human beings, especially men and boys. I agree with that. It's more layers to it, but I agree with that statement. Some more layers could be added to that, but I agree with that statement. Nate says triggered by the white bitch. Yeah, the triggering is through the roof. Charles Merchant been low key the real MVP, been dropping real good comments. He says if you want to see unity among the pick-me and black feminists, it's a snow cow walk. He said let a snow cow walk into the room. That is a factor in the equation. A lot of them got on the same page. But that's a factor in the equation. But the thing that I'm going to be talking about here today, because this is one that I had wanted to explore for a while, and sometimes when people say stuff, I just let it rock and I just do my content. Yeah, who's ever blinded by white? Sometimes I just let it rock and I do my content. But the whole notion that the black manosphere is out here on a mission to save Kiesha, that It's just nonsense. That is just nonsense. And you know that is nonsense. You know that it's nonsense for this reason. We just talked to FD Signifier tomorrow, and I just dropped a clip of when Hood Servative just emptied both barrels on him, and it was just epic. It was epic. But when we talk to people who are truly outside of the space, the true perception and vision and view that the people out truly outside of the space have of the space, that we're a bunch of chauvinistic, misogynistic men. We hate women. Like, that's what FD Signifier came with. One of the most interesting arguments that he made is when he was essentially trying to argue that no person with the manosphere red pill type message, the people that have made it big, I'm talking famous in the millions of subs, or Andrew Tate. I don't know if he didn't have a YouTube channel, because I think he was, I don't, but he was equally big on widely on the internet somehow through some different type of marketing strategy. But Kevin Samuels, black man, fresh and fit to black men, not ADOS, as Ed always reminds us, but two black men nonetheless. Andrew Tate, blackish, pearly things, white woman. He was essentially arguing that it's a reason why nobody, white and male, has ascended to the top of these charts. He's saying that they won't let a white man ascend that high, because they know that this stuff is bad, and that's why they're letting y'all have it. That's why they're not letting a white man get to the top of the top. Now, there's white men who's successful at it, but his argument is y'all need to question what y'all doing, because y'all don't see a white man doing it. Now, my response to that is basically like you're saying, oh, something is only valid if a white man is at the top of it. But from my perspective, from what I've seen, it's been a plurality of men and now women doing this type of content. But black men are the ones that rose to the top. Kevin Samuels had a great show. Fresh and Fit currently has a great show. Have my theories about how Pearl blew up that wasn't connected to black men, but I'm not even going to get all the way into that. I think I've beat that dead horse. I know I will have to beat it again because it keeps resurrecting, but I'll have to beat that one again. But the fact of the matter is that this space is here and it's growing, and I think it does an inordinate amount of good for black men, for breaking down the delusion. There's guys who got the money, there's guys who are successful, they still running into buzzsaws, they're still overvaluing women and undervaluing themselves, and are deluded into thinking that they have to deal with certain things, they have to put up with certain things, that they can't have certain standards, that they gotta take in a baby mama to the whole works. A lot of them are moving and operating as such. That's kind of what's going on. And where do those delusions get broken down? Where do those delusions get broken down and picked apart in the bad ideas and the programming and everything that deludes these men into making all these mistakes and running back into these buzzsaws and these traps and everything? The where does all that get broken down and deprogrammed? Well, it does right here. It does in channels like this. It does when men speak up and speak their mind and put this content out on a big satellite for men to hear. But then people want to turn around and do the spin move, do the ultimate spin move, and say that no, y'all are just trying to save hoes. Well, we're trying to save hoes. Do you agree that these hoes are a problem? Do you agree that men need to not be getting caught up with these hoes? So how are the men who are doing content about how messed up these hoes are trying to save the hoes by talking about how problematic these hoes are for men? So it's like a weird thing that goes on. But a lot of the same content creators that are are making that argument that everybody trying to save Kiesha are also now making the argument that everybody's trying to save, pander, or worship the white woman. Now, if you're worshiping the white woman as God, then clearly your mission isn't saving Kiesha. So it's like it's like people can't even get the argument straight. But when you look at the people truly outside the space, how they truly view it, they're not looking at it. They're not criticizing the black manosphere because they're doing a bad job at saving hoes. They're criticizing the manosphere because these men are basically exposing the problem. They're exposing all the nonsense. They're mad because they're exposing. It wasn't a hit list or a petition to get Kevin Samuels banned off the internet because he was saving hoes too good. It's like that's so it's a weird thing and a weird argument and a weird spin move. And then it's like when this Pearly thing happens, it's like a lot of people are just abandoning their previous arguments and then just going with a new one and saying that there's some white mama saviors situation, and that's just it's goofy, it's ridiculous, and it makes little to no sense. It makes little to no sense. But shout out to everybody else and everybody in the building. Shout out to everybody in the building. Thank you, Clue, for that $5 super chat that you sent earlier. If there are other ones, RM, put them up. And we got a live one right now, and the link is in the chat. Okay, I was just about to say the link is in the chat room. I bring it up early for detractors. The link is in the chat room for detractors, and this is, I believe, it was $5. RM did the quick maths in the background, so thank you for the 200 Kenyan shillings. That might be $200. I mean, that might just be $2. I'm not 100%. I think that's $2. Actually, that's $2. He said, "ManoSphere are full of simps obsessed with Kiesha." Then explain Pearly things, my friend. I'm glad you said that. Explain Pearly things. That's the point that I'm making here. Yeah, I don't know if it's yeah. Okay, RM. Just type in new. Okay, hold on. I'm trying to learn, so I gotta pause the show to learn something. How much is that? Just okay, $1.51. No, don't give me the math problems. Don't give me the math problems. Just tell me how much it is. Tell me the answer. How much is that? I don't want the math. Okay, it's $1.50. Oh, $1.51. Oh, that's weird. Okay, that's a weird amount. Okay, she was showing me the equation. I'm like, I don't want the equation. just write the answer down. So
wait a minute. What's this? This ain't enough. Make it enough.
So he put $1 and some loose change on it. He put $1 and some loose change on it. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. But here we go. Here we go. It's comments like this that is the reason why I even said I'm about to talk about this topic. The ManoSphere is full of simps obsessed with Kiesha. How, Sway? How? Like that's what I want to know. That's what I really want to open the floor for somebody to explain that, because the simp is the man who says accept them as they are. You just can't handle a strong black woman. What's wrong? Ain't nothing wrong with being with a woman in her 8 kids. Single. Shout out to Derek Jackson. Single mothers are for grown men only. That's what the simp look like. That's what saving a hoe is, when you're actually putting life, limb, and your finances and everything on the line, life, limb, and resources on the line to take in this wayward woman and her kids and make a life for her. That's what saving a hoe is. How you saving a hoe? By telling everybody how fucked up the hoe is, so they don't mess with the hoe. Like how does that get worked around as they saving hoes? How does ringing the alarm and waking up all the delusional men out there who keep running into the buzz saw? How does that person become the problem? How does that person become the problem? Before this content was out there, yeah, it was a few, players out there with their collar popped, but it was mostly, it was no content out there that spoke up for men when it came to the nonsense that women did, the nonsense that they put out there in the media, or the arguments that they put out there about black men. It was nobody on the front lines refuting that stuff. There was a few people, comedians could slip some jokes in. You may have saw something dramatized in a movie here and there. But even in those movies, in the end, the guy still goes and gets with the, he ends up saving the hoe at the end of the movie. Like either way it goes. Even in the movies where we saw a message out there about, how these chicks is wild out and crazy. So it's like, so I want to know how that gets worked and configured around. How and in what way is the manosphere trying to save? And oh, and the gentleman who sent this super chat, oh, he's in the back. I didn't know that was the same person. Okay, we got to do this. We got to do this. We got to do this. Let's get ready to go. Let me where is it at? Where is it at? Right there, bring you up. All right. Okay. It is your position, as I understand it, that the manosphere is full of simps trying to save hoes. How so?
Okay, shout out. Thanks for having me here. I've looked at your videos. Most of it is about Kiesha. If the Manosphere was about
Wait,
men,
time out, 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 time out. Talking about a problem that a large percentage of black men run into. How is that being a simp, being a simp trying to save a chick by telling the man not to simp for this chick?
simple. You already know the solution. Be passport bros, but you instead of doing that,
Hold
you
on,
guys
hold
do
on, wait a minute,
shows
wait a minute, hold on, wait,
saving
time out,
Kiesha.
time out, time out. Passport bros is one of the solutions. What are you talking about? That's one of the heavy. I just had the guy Obstacles to Opportunities on my show. We were talking about how to one make your money, build your money, but then invest that money in stuff that's going to make you so where you can make money passively so you can go live overseas. What are you talking about? Like I literally just did a show on that 2 days ago. What are you talking about?
One show, but then you mix it with all this Keisha stuff. When I go to white spaces, they talk about business, banking, finance, how to
Wait a minute,
help
wait a
each
minute.
other.
Hold on,
I
time
come
out,
to the
time out,
black
time out.
manosphere.
Wait a
It's just
minute.
Keisha.
Wait a minute. So if we don't talk about the problem, okay, do you agree that men are deluded into thinking that they need to they need to be with Kiesha? Yes or no? Yes or no? Are they deluded?
Some men.
Oh, well, come on, man. Go. You just hit the space with a broad brush. So I'm asking the question: are you convinced that there's a percentage of men that are too high of a percentage of men that are hell bent on dealing with the Keisha, with the woman that's a problem for their life? Or do you agree with that?
Yes, but I think the men is
Okay.
equally
All right. All right. All
unqualified for
right.
Keisha.
Okay. I didn't hear what you said right there. But you did say, you said yes. I heard a yes. Now, do you think you think to this man that it's too many men that are deluded into thinking that they need to do that. So when you say, but I see all this Keisha content, is like where are you against the mechanism or framework or pipeline or apparatus that breaks down that delusion? Because that's what the Keisha content, as you call it, does. It breaks down that delusion, and after that delusion is broke down, that man is free. He can not have a passport, but he can understand what he's up against here and pick better among Western women if he's going to deal with Western women. But the passport is on the table as one of the many options. So when you say that, you keep going back to you talk about the passport. That was the one show you did that, but then you went back to the Keisha content. It's like you don't see how the two of those go hand in hand. On one hand, the delusion is being broken down. On the other hand, a solution is being operated. But being handed out. But if you just go with only just saying passport, 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 but the guy is delusional and don't know why he need to unplug from the matrix, then you're only doing half of the problem. You do understand that, right?
Let me respond to that. So the point is that okay, there's nothing wrong with telling people about the problem. The problem is we already know the problem, right? We have so many channels that
Wait, hold on. You said we already know the problem. Yes, I know. Yes, the people that rock with me heavy know, but everybody don't know. Why? Because so many men are still running into the buzzsaw. So that means that men don't know. So what you're doing is you're running interference for Keisha right now. You're basically telling men, don't expose her fuckery. That's what you're doing. You're working for the sisterhood under the guise of trying to pretend like the people who are working against it are the simps. But you're the simp. You're the pander bear. You're the gynocratic goon right now. You're trying to get the men sounding the alarm about the problem to the general plurality of men out there who are walking into the buzzsaw. You're trying to stop us from doing it, run interference for Kiesha, who's the conductor of the buzzsaw. That's what you're doing right now. Go ahead.
See, I disagree with that, right? If you already have a solution, one solution, as you said, passport bros, why not focus on teaching men how to make passive income so that they can become passport bro? I became a passport bro.
Why do they need to? Hold on, wait. Why do they need to become a passport bro?
Because that's one solution that's actionable.
A solution to what problem? A solution to what problem?
The problem you guys talk about, right? Kiesha problem.
But why don't they know that why don't they know that it's a problem?
No, most people do know at this point. It's just they don't have the money to do it. They don't have the ability to afford it. You think most people don't know?
No. Have you listened to Black YouTube? And I got background noise. Turn that shit down. Turn it down. Have you listened to Black men talk? Have you? There's a whole space, a whole sector that talks about how the Black woman is God and how you need to deal with that woman, how her problems is your problem, and don't nobody else know your struggle, and y'all went through it together, and they basically y'all need to struggle together. It's a whole sector of Black men deluded into that's thinking that not only that they just need to deal with the problematic Black woman, it runs deeper than that. It's like they're deluded to the point to where it's it's not, because I'm not even talking about just Black women, because there's some decent Black women out there, but the ones who are problematic, they're thinking that it's so many Black men that just think that shit is normal. There's so many Black men that just think that shit is normal. When we break down those delusions, you're telling us that, oh, you don't need to do that because people already know. But then you just admitted earlier that men are still deluded. It's like it's almost as if you're talking about it from the perspective as if the content creator who's ringing the bell for the problem, who's sounding the alarm, is the one also searching for the answer. Like, I'm not searching for the answer. I have my answers. I give the answers to other men. So that's nonsense to say that the people that are giving the answers, the people that are putting out there, who are highlighting this problem, to say that they're somehow simping because they're being the voice to highlight the issue, that is bullshit, and you have to know that.
Yeah, I want to respond to that. I believe that the content creators are grifters, using the emotionally constrained men.
There it is right
to
there.
Make money, because
there it is right there.
No, there it is right there. I'm serious.
And I know, okay, you're the guy who came. You're the guy. Okay, you just lost the argument. And then you just went all the way to grifter. In order for somebody to grift, they have to actually sell. I ain't about to break down what a grifter is. People pay for the content. People pay for the content that speaks to their values, their views, their perspectives that they like. They get educated, entertained, and enlightened, and they support the content. And that's bullshit. And you took your try at doing this kind of content and it didn't work. And now you're trying to shit on the people that do the content that you didn't succeed at and trying to call them grifters. Get the fuck out of here. And your name was Misogyn War, actually, when you first came to this space. I know who you are. All right, we got the next contestant on The Price is Right. American First Rifle. What we got?
America First Rifleman.
All right,
but just call me Rifleman.
Oh, Rifleman. What's going on? What you got?
I have to say I'm a little disappointed in some of the comments I'm seeing. That's like people just going at Africans. Like, by the way, I'm an African American. But it's just like this.
Wait, hold on. Actually, I'm sorry to cut you off. Aaron, bring up. Let me get to the super chats. Let me get to the super chats before I go to the next caller. All right. Let's Theo F in the building says Khazarian Empire gonna be humbled by Chewbacca soon. Kiesha is 0 in the ManoSphere. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. Black Wolf Inc. in the building says this situation right now is what DJ Kuda argued would happen, and almost to a T. He is accurate. The manosphere needs to grow a set and lead for once. I want to hear specifics on what you mean by that. That sounds like rah-rah. I want to hear exactly what you mean by grow a set and lead. I don't know exactly what you're talking about. I don't know exactly what you're talking about. He said the manosphere is still a visible space for growth, but it's time for us brothers to stop letting females come in and get an audience because she's cute. Like Black Wolf, you got to think better than what you're thinking. All right. I don't know. Bring that one back up. If a woman starts a channel, I cannot stop you from going over there and watching her channel. I can't. A white girl in the UK started a channel talking about red pill manosphere points, spammed the algorithm with a bunch of shorts, and her channel blew up through the like. There's nothing. Basically, the manosphere and red pill talking points are out the bag. Anybody that can speak English can make a channel, and because YouTube is an open space and nobody has any control of it. Now, I understand from the standpoint that okay, who do you endorse? Who do you rock with? Who do you validate? I understand it from that perspective. I get it. But nobody can convince me that people rocked with her the way we rocked with Kevin Samuels, or the way a lot of people like yourself, you rock with Fresh and Fit. You're a moderator over there. Like, put it like this. When Kevin Samuels was coming up, and Kevin Samuels was blowing up, like we was there every day. Like if I asked anybody right now, he's been dead almost a year. If I asked anybody, what was Kevin Samuels' show schedule? Yeah, it was Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10 p.m. and on Tuesday, Thursday. I mean, it was Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10 p.m. on YouTube, and it was 10 p.m. Tuesday, Thursday on Instagram. We set our clocks, we popped our popcorn, and when he didn't come on, we noticed it and we missed it. When he did come on, everybody ran to the chat rooms the next day morning for the first live show. Like, oh shit, did y'all see what happened on there when that one chick came on there? She that was 5'4", 300 pounds, and said she required a man to make $1,000 for every pound, $1,000 a year for every pound she weigh. That's $300,000 a year, and he got to be 8'6". It's like we came in every morning. Like, did you see that? You know, it was like a thing. It was like a thing. Every show the next day was a Kevin Samuels post show after show. Like, when have you seen anybody come in here? Hey, did y'all see what Pearly said last night? like that wasn't a thing. She grew inorganically off spamming the algorithm with shorts, with YouTube shorts, those little reels. We all saw her content on the reels long before we ever subscribed. And I don't even want to use the word support because a lot of us, I don't think, like, no, she got an inorganic audience through spamming it with shorts, and that's good. That's good. That's how I grew my shit to in terms of subscriber count. I grew it organically off my live show, but my subscriber count is at 32,000 because of shorts. I quit doing shorts, so I quit getting shorts to go viral, and now my shit dropped back down. I mean, my subscriber count been stagnant at 32,000. Angerman got his up to 400,000, spamming the algorithm with shorts. Like, so when you say stop letting them come in, we have no control. Danica Marie was almost at 100,000 subs when we found out about her. The who's the other chicks? I'm forgetting the name. What's the one that looked like Michael Jackson? Melanie King. She was, I think she was at 100,000 before I found out about her. We can't stop the general public from seeing a YouTube thumbnail, clicking on it and watching it and subscribing. They're using the same talking points, the same tags, the similar thumbnails, to this, to that. But far as us anointing them and lifting them up and elevating them and pulling up a chair set in Indian style to learn from these women, like, no, that's not what's happening. It's a general population of Earth who sees their thumbnails and subscribe to it. A lot of those people are seeing somebody speak red pill stuff for the first time because they seeing it, they hearing it from a woman. It's like, so like that. So when you say stop letting females come in, how do you stop somebody from starting a YouTube channel? Like, that's not possible. On to go to the next one. Go to the next one. Cal saying Khazarian Empire made the typical mistake all newbies make in the manosphere. You can be pro-war but hate the CCP and African Civil War. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. And yes, Black Wolf is one, even though I kind of berated him a little bit, but Black Wolf is one of my day ones was one of the first original ones. Him and Snuggles ended up with a special greeting. Snuggles because it's funny, but Black Wolf, one of my day ones who got a special acknowledgement when he sent the super chat. But Theo Wife in the building says Khazarian Empire gonna be humped by Chewbacca soon. Ooh, humped by Chewbacca soon. Okay, I said okay. Kiesha is 0 in the ManoSphere. I already read that one. Go to the next one if there is a next one. Black Wolf, we lead day in and day out. Absolutely. Like he said, and Theo Wife, it says, Passport Bros talk about Kiesha, Khazarian Empire being invaded by Chewbacca. He will need a therapist after this. On Rod of God podcast in the building. He says, this is the pivot to gaslight men into believing they were out of frame for being disrespected by Pura Diddy. What exactly are you talking about? He said, this is the pivot to gaslight men into believing they were out of frame for. You got to come up and explain that one. I have no idea what you're talking about.
What do we get for $10? Everything you want.
I have no idea what you're talking about, Rod. So I'll let you come up and explain that one. All right. So we got Rifleman in the building. Go ahead. I'm sorry for taking too long with the super chats. You got the floor. You got the mic.
Oh no, you good. You gotta get to the housekeeping. I'll just make this one statement. I'm kind of disappointed in some of the comments from people watching the show when it's coming to like I get the whole African thing with Pearl, but it's just like it seems like to be a lot. It's starting to turn into Tariq Nasheed type territory, and I'm just gonna say that I'm not here to like berate your fans or nothing.
What do you mean by Tariq Nasheed territory?
These like ADOS FBA types are kind of anti-African in their language or whatever. I'm not saying you got to simp for anybody on the continent, but it just seems it goes into the since we're Black Americans, we're the special people and they're dirty African type stuff. And especially in light of what's happened, that's just their rhetoric.
Who's doing that?
Well,
I haven't heard that.
It's just I'm seeing some because okay, let me explain some of the rhetoric around what's happened with Just Pearly Things and her staff. People are taking the opportunity to throw shots at Africans. That's all. I just wanted to make a statement, just saying it's making me uncomfortable, but I'm not trying to hear make an indictment or anything like that. I'm just noticing comments going at Africans. That's all I'm saying. So that's it.
All right. I mean, I respect your perspective and all, but I haven't heard that. I do know there is a movement with Black Americans. Okay, it's two sides. On one hand, there's the Pan-African movement where we all Black, and we all come from Africa. Then there's a Black American side of it. They call it ADOS, FBA, whatever they calling it, where they care about our specific issues, and their view is that Africans really care about their own specific issues, and that we shouldn't spend too much time roping our issues into their issues. We need to worry about our own thing. Like there is Black people here in the States still saying that we need to get reparations. Well, we got a high immigrant population of Black melanated people over here that they've been here for a while, few generations. A lot of them into the politics saying no, we don't need that. Well, of course that person is saying that because they're not from here. And so that's where the rub is between the African and the Black American. That's where
I'm very aware of that.
But I'm not with this whole Pearl situation. I think.
Well, I've never seen that here.
If anything, hold on, wait. I just want to say, you haven't seen it on my channel?
Yeah, like literally like the last couple of days, people have been saying like anti-African stuff. Not just a few people, just enough to where I'm getting like, whoa, I've never seen that here. So that's all I'm saying. I just wanted to make a comment.
All right. I think if anything, people are kind of caping hard for I mean, like I said before, her having Black people from London who came from Nigeria who don't even refer to themselves as Black and people saying she trying to come up off of black culture.
Oh
You
yeah,
know, it's like
that's stupid.
yeah, I was like that. I mean, if that is the black cookout, that ain't our cookout. That's some, like I say, those some black people over there that sound like they got some Kelly Osbourne sounding accents that don't culturally identify or relate to us. That ain't even our issue. But people are basically turning into putting on dashikis and turning into Pan Africans as if, you know, because we care that our fellow black people in London from Nigeria are not being taken advantage of by this white woman. It's like so. It's like
No,
so.
it's just they want to be offended on behalf of other black people that don't really care. That's all that is. So Africans don't really need our outrage or sympathy like we try to offer all the time. I'll just say that. But my original thing, not to get bogged down on the African thing, like I'm just really like disturbed on like the division all this is caused. Like one white woman says some comment, some ill-advised comments, and invites a guest that shouldn't be on there, and it's just like World War III. It's like an indictment on her or anybody who's either
No,
supported her.
it's more of an indictment on black men, even the ones who didn't support her,
It, yeah,
who just casually saw her on YouTube because you can't miss her shorts when they come by on the reel. No, everybody had to hold the L. If you were scrolling YouTube shorts and you saw her reels and you acknowledged, okay, yeah, there's some content there. That's funny. That's interesting. That's okay. Whatever. If you acknowledge that in the least bit, you got to hold the L. It's like so that's where it just got ridiculous to me.
yeah. Well,
Like
okay.
we know,
Thank you for.
like I explained, we know what support in of somebody looks like. Like the support Kevin Samuels got, that was like real support. Like every like that he was the talk of the black manosphere. Not he became the talk of everywhere, but right in the belly of the beast, that's all we talked about for like damn near a year. That wasn't going on with Pearly. We wasn't running to the live streams to talk about what happened on Pearly show last night. I guarantee, like I laid out Kevin Samuels' live stream show schedule and still remember it to this day. And when he didn't go on, I noticed. I guarantee if I pop quizzed everybody, what was Pearly Thing's live show schedule when she come on? Because she do got a set schedule. I bet you don't nobody know.
White boys know.
I bet you don't nobody know, but they got to hold the L. They got to
Yeah, like
hold
I
the
said,
L.
only white boys really know. So,
All right. My man Rod God down there in the back. So I'm gonna drop you
oh,
down. I'm gotta talk
can
to Rod.
I
Oh,
just say this really quickly,
mm-hmm.
Bernard? Because I should have never even led with the African thing, so I apologize for that.
Okay, no problem.
Um, and it's just at the end of the day, like, how do we come back from this? Because literally, as of right now, this has disturbed me so much to where I'm just about to like just go to a little small part of YouTube and just stay there because the thing that's disturbed me the most is just like we're just fragmented off of this. And this is like
Yeah.
this should have been the smallest thing. And like, so how do we come back from this?
Yeah, no, listen, I don't want to, as a YouTuber, I don't want to recommend that people do this. However, it's not that bad of an idea to sort of start over with with YouTube. I don't even want to get into that. I don't even want to get. Sometimes it's good to go and put your phone on incognito, and that way your whole algorithm is disrupted, and then just start fresh, and then it's all kind of other content out there. And I don't want to recommend people do that because then they won't see my thumbnails no more. But sometimes you just got to start over and just find a whole new algo. But anyway, all right, man. Thanks.
All right, thank you.
All right. Rod. Oh wait, hold on, wrong one. My fault. I was trying to go for Rod. Okay, here we go. Rod of God in the building. Rod of God in the building. What's
Bernard
going
Roddy,
on?
man.
What's
How you
going
doing,
on?
brother?
Wonderful.
That's good. Yeah, so what I was saying is this whole gaslighting of, oh, it's all about Kiesha, is stemming from the black men in the space who felt disrespected, not felt, but were disrespected by the Pearlie's comments about slavery being embellished. Now I say were disrespected because there are of course some black men who were not, right? So those black men who were not disrespected by Pearlie's comments, we'll put them over to the side. Those of us who were, in terms of it was our forefathers who died, in slavery, right, in order for us to be here, and endured those atrocities. Those of us who took issue with that, right, we voiced it, and we had our detractors who said, no, you're being emotional. She did nothing wrong. She comes out and apologizes. No, she shouldn't have apologized, right? So when all of these tactics of the detractors, this is, in my opinion, this is what's going on. They keep throwing, it's the kitchen sink. They just keep throwing everything at the wall, trying to make it stick. And all of those arguments in terms of why Black men, the descendants of these people, why they should not have been disrespected by the attempt to minimize the atrocities of slavery. When all those other strategies did not work, they couldn't say, oh, you're being emotional, oh, this, but it actually started growing, which is what's so ironic, is the more that they fought to say you shouldn't be disrespected, the worse it got. It just grew bigger and bigger and bigger. So now that none of those have worked, this is the pivot. No, it's really about the Black woman, the Kiesha. And really, it's Kiesha. Y'all still trying to say Kiesha. That's why y'all teaming up with Kiesha. No, that's not what it is. That's why it's so.
Now I get. Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Now I get what you're saying. See, I wasn't even arguing. I mean, we could talk about that one. Where I was coming from is all the stuff before this Pearl thing blew up. Is that, there's a faction of people that claim that the first dude I talked to, he basically he said the Manosphere is a bunch of simps obsessed with Kiesha. Y'all trying to save Kiesha. Like, that was going on long before the Pearly things. I was examining the fallacy and just the ridiculousness of their arguments. I was examining that and breaking that down, and was using Pearly things as a backdrop, because the same people that was arguing that we're trying to save Kiesha are also the same people that are basically trying to say that y'all are obsessed with this white woman too. But if this was some pro-Black female save Kiesha space, then this whole Pearly things wouldn't be happening in this space. That was my argument. Now,
I see.
to the the attack, and I think I probably made this argument before. I think I made this argument that there is a sector of people who, put it like this: there's a group of men who, when they see that the women are upset and triggered by something, they get upset and triggered by it, and we call them simps. We call them the pander bears, the simp enforcers, the gynocratic goons, or whatever. That and that's what it typically comes down to. That's what it typically comes down to. Now, I've made the argument that there are some people that I ain't never seen with a dashiki on that got their fist in the air about, her comments. And I think, and shout out to Hood Conservative, when he always be saying hoes mad, I have made that argument that, yeah, hoes got mad, and then the simps picked up sword and shield. They ready for war now.
But that's
I
gaslighting.
I think it's truth in that for some. I don't think. Come on, Hood. It's truth in that for some, but I don't think that's the case for all. Now, with you, because I mean, look, I know you. I didn't talk to you. I know you ain't no simp. I didn't talk to you enough to know you ain't no simp. You got more. I think you got more pro-Black hotepiness in you than what I probably thought, because I can just be straightforward, honest, based off what I heard when I listened to that discussion. I didn't care that much. But the reason I probably didn't care that much, because I didn't really fuck with her anyway.
And see, can I just correct the record?
Okay, go ahead.
Because this happens a lot, and I do think it's a blind spot for a lot of y'all in this space, because y'all have been in this space for so long that you have developed these, like, almost like the way a dog can hear a dog whistle. You've developed this like sensitivity where if someone like is not like, first of all, what's happening is if you felt disrespected or if you were disrespected by those comments, like it wasn't a disrespecting, like what's it called, Salem witch trial, the chick, it wasn't anything like that. What it was nah, that's not cool. So you need to go ahead and watch your mouth, and we good. But it was y'all, just keeping the book. It was men of with your way of like listening for those dog whistles of, oh, really? You feel disrespected, or you were disrespected by a comment that someone made saying that the atrocities of slavery were not that bad? Like, it's like, yeah, because I am a descendant of those people, and no other group of people. It's like only in this space. I'm telling you, this is the only space in the world where people of a certain tribe and ethnicity actually believe that it's weak to be disrespected by someone minimizing your history and your heritage. Like, y'all are so focused on like how trash the community is right now, but you are completely missing the fact that that was not the case for most of our history.
Oh no, that's our point. That's our point, that it wasn't the case.
Then, if that's the case, Bernard, just to land the plane. If that's the case, if you have that same perspective, then the disrespectful comments were not made about the community. It was made about those ancestors, and I don't see how y'all don't get that. All right, I'm gonna stop.
All right, yeah. See, I mean, I hear what you're saying, and I respect you, and I rock with you, and maybe it's just something in me to where I just I don't feel it. I don't feel an iota.
But can you respect the fact that someone else could be like, you got me messed up, and not be a Hotepian?
Well, put it like this. I think I'm in a place, and I think we need to be in a place to where it's not she said that I'm offended. It's I'm going to refute her argument to the point to where she's going to look stupid for saying it.
But that didn't happen. What happened was nothing was said that was wrong. This is the gaslight.
Well, hold on, wait, where? Okay, I guess I didn't see it, and maybe I wasn't looking.
This entire space.
Where? Hold on, wait. Let me ask my question. Where was the people who thought that slavery was every bit as with 10 times better than what she tried to portray it? Like, and they shouldn't have to technically, but I didn't see anybody making refute the argument. Everybody just got mad and attacked black men after.
No, black men got mad and attacked black men.
Men. Hold on, wait. Oh yeah, no. Let's start from the top. It was when Jason Black heard her say that. He didn't heard her say that, and he heard Nick Fuentes say all that. He didn't attack that white man. He didn't even attack the white woman. He attacked the supposed black men who allegedly supported her. She got mad. I mean, she said something that he didn't like, and he used that as a stick to hit black men in the black manosphere with, as if we somehow supported her because her shorts popped up on her timeline. If I ask you right now, what's her live stream show schedule? I guarantee you don't know.
Never watched the show. Never. I watched Aunt Jenny one time. Yeah.
No, yeah. Didn't nobody watch her like that. But I'm not buying her level of Black America support. Everybody basically used this opportunity to spew whatever I think hate they had against black men
because it was a position of weakness. Whenever you
how are we weak because some chick said some shit?
No, it's not, because, and that's the gaslighting. No one is saying that this space or the men in this space who were not disrespected, right? This is that group of men who were not disrespected, right? No one is saying those men are weak because they aren't mad at Pearlie. That's a gaslight. They're saying those men are weak because when the men who were disrespected by it, right? Maybe you divorced yourself from your own what you are, which I mean, like, that's a mental illness. I'm gonna keep it above. So if you have done that, all right, fine. Respect the men who have not gotten to that level where they are actually like like have some type of like identity issue, right?
I haven't divorced myself from being black. I've said it plenty of times. I don't like the term pro-black, so I'm not going to call myself pro-black because they be on some bullshit. But I am bare minimum pro-black male. That's bare minimum.
And see
Pro-black.
that, and I agree. You are.
I'm pro-black male, and any benefit that I see that black women get, I want them to get that through under the submission and leadership to black to black men. That's
so with that. So the men like me, because I am too. My bad.
Okay, all right, good. So here's the deal with that.
But in terms of pro-black male,
wait. No, I gotta say this because this is the flight of stairs that you're missing. If you go back and watch the original video, you know, because let's keep in mind she sat down with Nick Fuentes. Crickets. Nobody said anything. No reaction content. Nobody talked about it. No. Well, wait a minute. We support her, right? How did we not know about it?
No, I'm talking about like being real. Like I didn't know about it.
No. Nobody fucking knew about it because people don't fuck with her like that.
Exactly.
I mean, some people. So okay. So they did that video, and then 3 weeks of crickets went by, and then Jason Black decided to use that video. Damn it, Hood Conservative, come back. Shit. My bad. Should have brought you right up. But me and Rod was on to something. Please come back. Hood. Drop the link back in there just for Hood Conservative. RM. Okay. They did the Nick Fuentes video. It was 3 weeks of crickets, and then Jason Black subtruded the tape, clipped which parts he wanted to respond to, and used it to attack black men. Like that happened. So basically and moreover, everybody used that tape to attack black men, and so and specifically the Black ManoSphere, and so the Black ManoSphere retaliated.
It's revisionist.
Okay, where did I get the chronology wrong?
They used Jason Black's video to attack Pearly. It was all about Pearly. Y'all, for some reason, that's what I mean. Y'all ears have like been like wired to like hear things that aren't happening because y'all have been around. Y'all have had these like pro-black wars, I guess, back in the day, and they used to be in the space, and now they're not. So, but I think when y'all heard the attack on, he did keep it above. I think he called out like O'Shea and MTR or something
when he says the winosphere. All them sissy holes and all that over.
See, y'all know those things. New people, we don't know that, and that's why it's very. It's like you don't understand what's going on. You're in the twilight zone because, and we don't have that history of all that. All we know is that the dude was calling out the white chick, and so it was like, okay, yeah, the white chick messed up. Yeah, she need to go ahead and apologize. We know all y'all gonna talk about it and be like, yeah, this bitch crazy. Some stupid shit to say, but okay, keeping it pushing. But what happened was, the men in the chats who were like, yeah, man, that chick is out of line. This is what's wrong with black men. You're so fucking emotional. It's like, what? Bro, like what other group of men in the whole fucking world will allow somebody to disrespect their heritage and not have a damn thing to say about it, and to take it even further, when that person acknowledges, I fucked up. When that person does that, they say, you shouldn't have apologized. Like, this shit, you can't make it up. I'll let Hood get in.
All right. I think you got the chronology a little off, and maybe it was some things that he was saying that maybe you didn't catch. But I'm telling you, Jason Black he only went in on Pearly to use her as a stick to hit black men or the Black ManoSphere or any other black content creator with, and to make sure if it was anybody in his audience who fucked with her, to make sure, one, they didn't fuck with her, but really to try to hit all of the black male content creators in the Black ManoSphere that some of his audience probably fuck with, to get them to not fuck with them. It was all used as a tool and a stick to attack black men with. Even the goddamn, hold on, and even the infamous Pearly Me Too video that I finally watched for the first time a couple days ago. That when I watched the content on that, it was more of a hit piece on the ManoSphere than an expose of what she did. I was like, damn, why? It's like So everybody uses everything to try to hit the black manosphere. That's
I'm
all
telling
saying.
you, y'all have gotten, like, there have been so many wars here. I think y'all just got a lot of battle scars, and that's what clouded it. Because, bro, if that let me take that. Let's take your perspective on. Let's say that was the true thing, the true perspective, the right perspective, right? He did this as an attack on the space. The worst thing to do. Always talking about reading Art of War, not you, Bernard. I'm talking about just the men in this space, right? Who are like have a problem with people who had a problem with the comments, right? So, like in terms of if that was his strategy, why on God's green earth would the answer be to say no, bump that? We're gonna act like that is not at all disrespectful, and in fact, we're gonna say no, there's something wrong with you. Now, everybody who doesn't have that history, right? They are clueless in terms of all this history with this battle, with this space and the sissies and all that kind of stuff, right? Now, all of those people looking in are like, what? Like, yo, I ain't with the Strags. I ain't about these hyenas. I ain't about no black Hotepian. I ain't with none of that. Like, there are so many men in the space who are not black pro-blacks who are now being labeled pro-black, and it's because y'all don't have the perspective of the outsider. Y'all don't have the perspective of the person who's been here since Kevin Samuels. But guess what? That's when the space blew up.
Okay. All right. I'm a pass the hood server, and Mike, cut it out. There will never be a bounty for Rod. That Rod is my man.
Hey, I'll match it.
Cut
Hey,
it out.
you're gonna have to dig deep in them pockets, brother. You have to dig deep. I'll match the fuck out of you.
All right. Go ahead, Hood. Go ahead, Hood. You got it.
Yeah, I was and shout out to both you and Rod. God, thanks for having me up again, Bernard. I was talking about this very thing probably this morning when I was on Kudas, and I was saying how the black manosphere space, like the black part of it, I remember hearing BGS specifically say part of the reason why he wanted to break away from the manosphere at large was because he wanted to talk about, the problems specific to black men. And I think it kind of went without saying that he also wanted to talk about some of the racial dynamics as well. And because the racial dynamics aren't going to sell as well with the white audience, he felt the need to kind of sequester the black audience and create what's, come to be known as the black manosphere. And I know BGS isn't typically called like one of the big three, but I think he was, always around. And the idea, I think, still holds. And I think the idea of what he described still holds. Like, a lot of black men did want to have that special black male space to talk about not just black women, but a lot of guys are pro-black, and there are a lot of black men who are trying to like blend their pro-blackness with the red pill, and it has it's a weird mixture. It's just a weird mixture at times, and it comes out. We see the conflicts happen, and so what I think is happening right now in this particular moment is something like a battle to like recapture the hearts and minds of the space, because as the pro-blacks kind of maybe try to carve out a space for black men, it immediately split. And there was, like, I think the George Floyd thing kind of was my highlight moment of it all. But there is a sort of right and a left to the black manosphere, and we're kind of having a battle over like supremacy here. And things were kind of quietly pushing to the right. And I remember O'Shea, when he was talking about why he was leaving the space, and this is some of his more recent videos. I don't know about what he said initially, but when he was talking about this recently in the last week, he was saying how part of the reason why he did leave the space is because, guys wanted to be MAGA and they were just moving to the right. Without just trying to steel man his argument as best as I can, he was essentially saying guys were moving to the right and he didn't care for it. And I think that's kind of playing out right now. And the problem that I think you can't escape is for black men, whether or not you're pro-black, if you move to the left in any degree, you're going to have to make peace with the whole Kiesha situation. Whereas like guys on the right aren't really ready to make peace with Kiesha. We would rather let this house be torn down by, a redheaded white woman than make peace with Kiesha for the sake of blackness. And we're right in that moment right now. And I think it's cool.
So are you saying, Hood? I got a question. So Hood, I got a question for Hood. So Hood, on the right? I took a photo of me voting for Trump and posted it on Facebook. But okay, let's say that on the right, does the right view their heritage, right? If we go in terms of like the heritage of the nation of America, do they revere it, or do they consider it something where if a lefty white person also has national pride, if they
You're
have
talking
national
about
pride,
nationalism.
if they have
That's simple. It's a simple concept. Yes.
Wait, I didn't finish the question. What did you think? What did you just say yes to? I'm sorry.
No, because you're talking about nationalism. That's a very simple concept.
No,
yes,
sorry,
the right
I'm
believes in nationalism.
I'm asking you, what did you just say yes to? I'm sorry.
That the right believes in nationalism. Yes, that's a very simple
That was
concept.
not my question. That
Okay.
was not my question. All right. So in terms of their heritage, right? If the nation is their heritage, right? Are you disputing that? I'm sorry. Are you disputing that?
Not yet. I want to wait for you to land the question.
That was the question. That was a question right there. Are you disputing that? Because it sounded like you were trying.
When you say heritage, okay, now let's rip the scab off, because I hate when people use like weasel words, and I excuse, I'm not trying to come at you per se, but that's like a weasel word when you say heritage. What do you mean specifically? Are you talking about racial heritage or national heritage? Because they are not necessarily the same thing.
And that was my question. See, who's the weasel now? Like, you're trying to say that
I'm going straight at the issue.
The heritage of the country is not tied to any race. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying they are not necessarily the same thing.
Okay,
meaning. Listen. Hold on.
He's about to define it.
I'll stretch it out. I'm gonna thread it out for you. Just if you want to go with the argument that America was founded by white people, because that is the story, right? White people came over here, killed the Indians, and they brought the black people to work the farm, right? If you're gonna go with that story, I'm gonna tell you, okay, yeah, that's how America was founded, but that doesn't mean there's no place for you now.
No, okay. So you're going off, and I don't know where the hell you're going. My point was, you came up here saying it's like, if you can say that, oh well, the right doesn't have a heritage that can be attacked, I can't have a discussion with you.
Why do you want to attack their heritage, and then why do you want to attack their heritage? Whoa. Why? Let me ask the question, brother. Let me ask the question. Why do you want to attack their heritage and then cry when your heritage gets attacked in return?
I'm not crying. See, who's the weasel?
That's what this whole event is about. You said that somebody was downplaying slavery. That is an attack on your heritage. So why are you going to take offense to that when you're waging war?
And you see how he tried. You see the snake. These are the snake tactics. Because what is this conversation about? I'm sorry if I can say this one thing, Bernard. The conversation was, he was trying to act like it's basically moving to the left. So if you can be offended by your heritage, it's a move to the left. And my only question was, okay, so does the right have a heritage? And then he started asking all these Weasley ass questions because he knows he's in a logical trap. I can't talk to Hood.
What is the heritage of the right?
I'm done. I can't talk to you, bro.
Well, no, okay, all right. I think if I could try to bridge a gap, because I didn't understand where Rod was going, but I think I finally figured it out at the end. You're basically saying if white people are offended by their heritage being attacked, but what are you defining? What are you defining as their heritage? Like if somebody just basically has a general attack on America.
What is the right? No, because what is the right? What is the right angry about right now in this moment? That's what I mean by gaslighting.
No, I'm trying to figure it out, bro.
Okay, yeah. The right is what happened down in Charlottesville, right? Wasn't it about taking down the Confederate flags and all that kind of stuff? It's like if they can have an issue about their heritage, why can't black people have it? And why is it moving to the left to have an issue about yours? Like, it's crazy.
I see what you're saying. You're saying that you could still be a conservative who voted for Trump, but when you see an attack on your heritage, you can still take a stand and fight fight the rhetorical battle against that without getting called a woke leftist liberal with purple hair.
And the thing is, we weren't even fighting. All we were saying is that
Well,
we had
let
the
me
right to
meet
have
you
a
on that
problem, to
territory,
have an
Rod.
issue.
Let
I'm not talking.
me meet you
I'm
on
done.
those
I'm
grounds,
done.
Rod.
Hold on, wait,
Hold on.
Rod. I think we
Fair
just
enough, but I'm still here.
gained some ground and made some sense. So okay, I understand your point. You're saying that it's logically flawed for us to basically put a dashiki on you and call you some leftist woke black, woke black intersectional FD signifier ass nigga. It's wrong
It's
for us to
deeper
do that
than
to
that
you.
because what it's saying is that like you really are like you have like an inferiority complex because you actually believe. I'm not talking about you, Bernard. I'm talking about Hood. You actually believe. You actually believe that you don't have the right that for black men, any black men who are the descendants of these people, if any black man has an issue with someone trying to diminish what that was, that they are a leftist. So that, but meanwhile, on the right, they have issues about their own culture and their own heritage, and that's okay. Like that's what I mean by inferior.
All right.
Okay,
No.
one thing I'll
That's
say, I
not
got
what's
you.
going on here at all.
The one thing I'll say is worth pointing out. If you're talking about the Charlottesville people and them being offended, those peoples are pariahs and are barely welcome in polite society, and so they have a stigma when they get up in arms about their heritage as well. But it's a different type
That's
of
not true,
stigma.
Bernard. That's not true,
They
Bernard.
don't just
All
talk.
of the right support Charlottesville. They don't support the lady getting killed, but they support the fact that those people were standing
You
up
hear
for their
this? You
rights.
see what I mean?
They
But I'm
support the free
the bad
speech.
guy here. You see what this is crazy.
They support
What's
the free
crazy?
speech, but everybody don't support the tiki torch. You will not replace us shit. Everybody don't support that.
That was not what Charlottesville was about. I know that's what the left spin Charlottesville into. That was not Charlottesville was just white people standing up and saying, fuck this. I'm tired of y'all trying to take over our culture. That's what it was. The left spinned it into that. And see, that's what Hood likes to do. He tries to push me on the left. It's like I can't talk with somebody who's that disingenuous.
All right, without pushing Rod to the left, let's just go ahead and deal with whatever argument he made that you got some issue with.
Yeah, the idea of somebody like downplaying your culture is directly the issue at hand, right? And so he's saying that based on the whole curly
culture. I didn't say culture. He's down. You see how he weasel shit?
Oh, hey, wait.
Downplaying what your history? Downplaying your history, your heritage? No. Let's play exactly what the term. Let's use exactly the terms he's using. Bro, why are you so upset, Rod? Come on, bro. We all talking here. Like, all right, you say heritage.
Dude, don't get up here being
I get it, but don't let that ruin you. Let me be full of shit. It don't have to ruin you. Now, yes. Now here's the thing. When you say heritage, how is slavery our heritage when all black people weren't slaves? How can slavery be the heritage of all black people if all black people weren't slaves? Even in just the American context, all right? We're not even getting global with it.
Now we see more of the weasel bullshit.
Yeah.
No, directly answer the question. Directly answer the charge, please.
Bernard, you hear this shit, right? So now it's all black people, even if you were not a descendant of a slave, intellectually disingenuous. Like I can't talk to him.
Let me do it like this. If Rod was a descendant of slaves, then it's his heritage. So he was speaking up for his heritage. Okay, so let's just work from there.
Well, but again, now you're still at the crux of the issue. Your heritage isn't necessarily our heritage as black people. So the idea that we should all cry slavery tears every time a redheaded white woman says something offensive is offensive to me.
Exposed. Who's intellectual?
Right, because you used to be a slave. And I probably owned one of you niggas. Like, no, let's have it all the way out. We were not all slaves, and we should not all feel like slaves today, 200-something years later.
If you were not a descendant of a slave,
because you putting it on me.
I didn't put
because you putting it on me. No, hold up. Did you not get up here and try to say, yo, you niggas this and you niggas that? So as one of those niggas, I'm like, bro, it's not us. It's y'all who feel some type of way. We accept that we're free. You don't.
If you are not a descendant of a slave, respectfully, why the fuck are you up here? This is about the people who were disrespected by their ancestors, their heritage being diminished in terms of descendants of slaves. And go back and
One
rewatch the
and
video, y'all.
that
Go
wasn't
back and
diminished.
rewatch the
That wasn't
screen.
attacked either, Rod.
When I broke down that we come from these people, if that's not you, I said the men. I specifically said there's men who were not disrespected and there's men who were. If you were not, if none of if you don't come from slaves, you're not a descendant of a slave, then you have no dog in the fight, bro.
Okay, so it's not a black argument; it's a slave argument. So can we acknowledge it's not a black argument; it's a slave argument? Can we acknowledge that? It's not about your blackness; it's about your slaveness, right? Because we both got blackness, but you got slaveness.
Oh, so okay, whatever. So drop down. I mean, like, bro.
No, okay. I just want to be clear on the terms, because here's the thing: you've been attacking, and not just you, but people on your side, people who are upset with Pearl, are attacking black men essentially on their blackness, and you're not really upset about your blackness. You're upset about your slaveness, because I don't share your slaveness.
Bruh, you sound as slave as they come, bro. You got more slaves in your lineage than I do. I bet that.
Even if I did, I don't feel like simpatico with them niggas. Like, yeah, y'all had a bad time. Glad I'm not you.
Well, it's not even about that. And that's my point with all these deflections. Like, this is about, there are men who have divorced themselves from their own identity. They feel ashamed to be a slave. But guess what? Those in power.
It has nothing to do with shame.
Hold up.
No, you want us to have shame. You want that shame. That shame is your power. Rod, is that shame not what you're looking to capitalize on right now? Don't you want that shame right now?
Those in power who are in the most read book in all of human fucking history, the Holy Bible, were enslaved for 400 years. Do they have a fucking complex about it? You weak. It's weak.
Dude, listen. I don't even see you. Now, this is what people do. People try to bring up the J's, so it's a subject where you have to handcuff yourself to even talk about openly. Good for you. You win for bringing up the J's. Now, the question at hand, though, why should black men be forever handcuffed to slavery? Why should we forever be manipulated by the shame of slavery so you can have your army of niggas?
You don't have to be.
Hood, that was an argument that's better delivered to Jason Black, because I think what you described is accurately what he does. The shame and hurt of slavery is what he does to basically corral his army of people who wallow in the pity.
Fair point, but Rod was just doing it. We're all supposed to cry the same slavery tears. Like, he was just doing it. He don't want us to call him a leftist, but he reading out the Jason Black playbook.
Why are you triggered? And that's the thing. Y'all have this history.
You don't want to be called what you are. You don't want to be called by what you're doing. You don't want to be addressed by what you're doing, though. You are what you do.
Get offline sometime. Normal people don't have a problem with their heritage or what happened to their ancient ancestors. This is some crazy shit. They accept the fact that their ancient ancestors were who they were and they moved the fuck on. But to tell those people that they can't have an issue with somebody disrespecting that and trying to minimize it and say, yo, and it's not like a big deal, but just like, yo, no.
Let me ask you this, Hood. Let me ask you this. What do you think about the Jews, how they cry a river as well? Like I said, they went in the Success Olympics and the Victim Olympics. When anybody say everything, and they're so offended, and they're what's your thoughts on that?
Offended, they bout it, or they'll shut shit down.
I mean, well,
you can't shut shit down if you don't have any competitiveness to you, and people really get offended. Bro, let me answer the question directly, bro. Let me answer the question. People get offended by the constant tears or whatever because it's part of a game, but underneath the tears, there's a hard, cold, calculated power base that thrives on ruthless competition, and you can't sit here and cry slavery tears and have ruthless competition. You think those slavery tears are really genuine? It's all a part of a program. So I don't really put the argument together when it comes to those people. Underneath it all, there's ruthless competition. There are people in positions of power to exercise their will. And without actually trying to become those people, all you are is just crying.
So this is another thing that y'all do. A lot of y'all do in this space, bro, is y'all trying to fucking reinvent power dynamics. if this is the power system and this is the way you wield that power, it's like men in this space, some men in this space will be like, well, no, but I don't like the way that they wield power, so I'm gonna go over here and then what? Not have power? It's like,
wait a minute, Rod. You just made the Pearly Things argument.
What?
That was her argument. She said that they use slavery to essentially use it as a form of power, or she didn't say power, but as a mechanism of
control. Thank you.
So
wait,
really,
hold on. Let me hear Bernard out.
But he don't want to be called a leftist, though. You see the disingenuous here? This is what we fighting against.
No, you just got your ass whooped. Go ahead, Bernard.
No, I already said it right there. I mean, that's okay. That
he was talking. I didn't hear.
I'm explaining what I just explained is part of the reason why I didn't get offended by the slavery comment that she made, because I know and I recognize that, and Black people do it all the time to this day for every little thing that has ever happened to us and still happen to us. We use that victimhood as a way to check white people.
Here we go. Revisionist. I get it now. I'm sorry, Bernard. I didn't hear you because Hood was like babbling. So revisionist, because what happened was Nick Fuentes started with the Jays, right? He started with it, and she got scared and said, "Oh no, that's just like with the slaves." She deflected to the slaves. She didn't want to touch that, and the reason why she wouldn't touch that is because the power, and you cannot have the power to shut shit. Like, dude, it was a beautiful fucking sight seeing that bitch up there frying. And it was Black men in the chat talking about, why are they crucifying her? It's power. Like, dude, you can't have power if you can't make somebody bow the fuck down. You already below, right? Right?
So hold on. Listen to this. Listen to this. So you felt a sense of power from what you saw a white woman bowing down. You feel like you have racial power now. That's how you feel like you get power.
It was a major. Like y'all always see y'all double talk.
I want y'all to hear this. The nigga felt powerful. Rod felt personally powerful. Think about that for a minute. He felt power coursing through his Black nigga veins when this white woman allegedly apologized.
I felt ethnically powerful in my heritage, and instead people, because like, look at it. Go and look at Hood.
Did you avenge your ancestors, Rod? Did you avenge your slave ancestors?
Go and look at Hood Servitors videos about Kyrie and Kanye, y'all. You will have a hot laugh. You will have a good laugh if you look at that and compare that to this, what he's saying right now. It was all about they have power. They're in control. They have power. And then when Black men turn to do it, it's like, I mean, admit it, Hood, you was a little jealous. You was a little jealous.
No, listen. This is a problem I take with the whole pro-Black thing. You're not very accurate with your targeting, okay? When I went at that group of people on those videos, and I'm going to try to be very careful about this because I promised I won't be anti-Semitic in public no more. But I am not attacking white people because white people did something to Black people. I'm going at the group who are documented as actually owning and controlling a majority interest in this thing you call the slave trade of Black African people. So it's not about white per se. It's actually a specific group who've done specific things that can be traced. People have written books on this and gotten their lives destroyed behind this. And that's what I talked about on my stream. It's not a white thing. But it's not a white thing. So listen, unless you're gonna name your enemy proudly like I did, shut the fuck up about white people. And then try to obfuscate the point by bringing them up like you on their side. No, motherfucker, they are not the people who enslaved you. Stop acting like the white people did it when we can go in the history books and know who did what, who was secretly doing what to whom, and then have the conversation. But you're not allowed to do that in public, are you?
He drops mic on my argument for me, bro. Did you hear that passion about another group of people and what they have done through all this time? You see what I'm saying? It's like, bro, and those who don't get it, those of high intelligence get it. Those who don't, rewatch.
Like I said, you got a shotgun and I got a sniper rifle, bro. I hit who the fuck I'm supposed to hit. I hit who the fuck I'm supposed to hit. I hit the nigga that did it. You shooting people, I ain't do shit to you. This is why people hate Black people now. Motherfuckers want to do drive-bys all the time.
All right, I got the link in the chat. I got the link in the chat for anybody want to come up and get a piece of this conversation. I do think it's worth pointing out that Rod did sort of, triumphantly speak to the fact that we do have some type of power to where we can make them apologize. But that was, we can make them apologize. We can control them, their actions. Like that was the supposed quote from Alex Haley that I haven't confirmed whether or not he actually said it. But he said he basically wanted, if he said it, what it was is that he wanted to put that on Front Street. He wanted that out there. He wanted what happened to Black people to be in the hearts and minds of everybody, so it could be used as a mechanism
Bernard
of control. And Rod sort of just basically said, like, yeah. So once you say that, then it's like, then you can't really be offended by her pointing out something that you agree with. Like that's, and if the crux of
it's so much deeper than that, Bernard. You got to understand, it's so much deeper than that, and it's a handicap. He intentionally wants to handicap the argument by bringing up the whole J thing, because if I understand correctly, when we accused Alex Haley of plagiarism, the person he plagiarized was on the J team. And so that person wrote a book about, even his book was fictional, by the way. It was, based on true events, as they say. But he writes a fictional book. A Black person plagiarizes this fictional book, and it becomes essentially an article of Black history. And so, and nobody disagrees that the event didn't happen, but the story we're told was a piece of fiction, right? And so the thing that's being done is an act of grand manipulation here. And so for him to be upset as if it's just this broad group of Caucasians, and I'm like, nah, bro, it's actually a very there's a very interesting relationship if you really want to get into it, and it's way deeper than just black and white. And so this is why I would go on these tangents on my own stream that I had to take down and point out certain uncomfortable realities, because it's not as simple as black and white. It just isn't.
Yeah. Shout out to Rod. He says his lunch break is over. Relax. I don't think he. Well, yeah. I don't. We ain't gonna say Iran. We ain't gonna say Iran. The man does work. The man does work. But yeah. But I gotta play this clip. This is what it's like. This is, and everybody does this. Like the J people, the Jews, they do it. But Black people are notorious for it. And this is what happens. And this is how you use victimhood to basically control people.
Go, sir. Kiss it. Huh? Apologize. Kiss it. You want me to kiss your... That's right. Apologize. Okay. I'll, let's see here. Apologize.
Shout out to South Park, always getting it exactly right.
Right. That's exactly what they were looking for.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. South Park don't be playing either. They will get your shit taken down for putting their shit up there. Hopefully they don't come get me. But yeah, man. That's what. Okay, and Rod views that as power. Now I've argued that is a form of power, but you did a good job breaking down. That where if you're not in position where you control something, then is whiny crying at that point. Basically you're everything you're getting is a hug. Basically go ahead.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Let me break some Black people's hearts real quick. Y'all got to have your heart broken about this thing. As a group, Black people don't truly have the power that you ascribe to us, right? When somebody gets canceled for offending Black people, it's mostly because another group who is actually much more powerful than us has our back.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what's going on here, right? Because it's very difficult for 13%. Actually, the 13% of the population is almost irrelevant. Our political and economic impact and the levers of power that we can control, we don't really control. Other groups control those things on our behalf because we can be the attack dogs for their army. And so when we go on the attack, they actually can recoup the great benefit of it. That's really the power game that's going on with Black people. That's what the whole The entire BLM thing worked about. I mean, that's how the entire BLM thing works, right? Of all the money that went into BLM's hands, right? Just dollar for dollar, if you could really give a rough calculation of all the money that actually went into their hands, and then subtract all the money that the three founders were alleged to have to keep for themselves, right? You're still talking probably like tens or maybe hundreds of billions of dollars. Like God knows how much it was. Who knows? But however much is left over, somebody else made that money. It didn't just go to random nobodies. So there's a giant game being played, and black activism is a key part of that. So other people can essentially get paid, and your black life never gets better for it. That's the whole game.
Whew. Damn. All right. The link's in the chat. Anybody else want to come up and get a piece of this conversation? RM, pull those super chats up. Let's read the super chat, see if anybody said anything interesting worth discussing and picking apart here. Pukimus Prime. Wow, Pukimus Prime. Good one. He said, you guys tell women to choose better, but yet you guys want to be constant complainers about women, Kiesha, Becky, and otherwise who you all choose. If you think the things that we say about women is strictly based on our personal experience, it's based on personal experience, but the BS that you're saying right there, these conversations run a lot deeper than the woman in my life is causing me a problem. It runs a lot deeper than that. So like that's a bullshit argument. Like we have, listen, I'm not even going to just go through my catalog. If the conversation was my girlfriend hit me in the head with a glass ketchup bottle and it hurt me, and she's doing that to me, and I don't know what to do. Like that, don't pretend like that's the conversation. That's the bullshit straw man that you're throwing out.
Bernard,
the
even with that,
run deeper than the who choosing who arguments. Like, come on. But go ahead.
Even with all that you said being true, I think there is a value in just calling hoes. And what I mean by that is, like, because the female psyche works the way it does, there is a certain value to gain from just being brutally honest about what you think about women. Because
oh no, agree 100%.
Right. And so to have them walking around as if none of these thoughts are even in the air, like, no, I want you to understand, I know you're a piece of shit. Like, I'm not gonna jump down your throat every time I see you, but I want you to know that I know you're a fucked up person. And that's what's happening with the constant bashing. Is like it's character assassination, almost out of revenge.
Well, the point that I was making is that I think we do a breakdown of how the things that they do, how the things that women do causes problems in society that goes undocumented and unregistered. The things that men do to cause problems in society, we fill up prisons with those people. But a lot of the things that women do, it's not exactly criminal acts, but it can be equally hazardous, and it can ultimately end up producing those type of men that end up committing those criminal acts. So talking about that and highlighting that is talking about a larger macro issue, and not just why you picked that woman. It's like that's an attempt to minimize the argument, as if somebody is just crying about a girl crying about a situation, a relationship that didn't work out. There's discussions about that, but a lot of times the discussions are bigger than that. That's the point that I was making. But all right, on to the next one. Oh, you already got the next one up. It says, salute BR. When you lay down the hammer, you've been knocking out the park with said debating skills. Also, you having a truthful demeanor is key. Thank you very much. Do appreciate that. Ken M in the building says the whole situation is a mess. Agreed. Sir Tyson in the building says white women. SKC sound effect LOL. That's what this is all about. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. Mike and Vince person in the building dropped the bounty. No. We are not bountying. Not bountying. Rod of God. Jackie Love Jack in the building said it's logically fair to call someone a coon if they aren't offended by what Pearl said. It goes both ways. Thanks for the super chat. Appreciate that. Black Wolf in the building says, Rod of God, fam, I can't side with you on this one today. Hood assertive is exactly like me, and the shots you dealt him are the same ones I get. If you have not been born prior to 1865, you not a slave. I'll even extend that date out to 1965. You know, I mean, you saying you are not a slave. Yeah, I'll even extend that date out to 1965. You know, I like Jim Crow matters. Even though we had a crazy discussion on this channel about whether or not Jim Crow was worse than slavery, I think that was ridiculous. But Jim Crow matters. There's a lot of things in history that matters. But yeah, it we have a different type of relationship, and I sometimes can't even put my finger on the degree in which our relationship with our history is more than just I don't know. It just seems like it's we're mad. Put it like, I think I just figured it out. We're mad about losing a game. We're mad about triumphantly losing. We lost real bad. And I think the mere fact that we look at the overall state of Black people and it's like we still in that loss. Like if the overall state of Black people was better right now, I don't think we would feel as bad about the historical loss. Like I remember Game Changer did a excellent breakdown of the people that built Spain and the stuff that they went through. I don't know if you know the history on that, how they were down bad. Like people was like selling their kids into slavery in exchange for, you know, a dog. And that sounds crazy, but the logic was, okay, if my kid is a slave, they'll be able to eat 3 meals a day. And that dog
what year are we talking about?
And we'll be able to eat this dog and keep us alive. If we stretch it out, we'll be able to stay alive maybe another 2 weeks and not starve to death. It's like some people were down that bad, but they still got it together and then built what's known now as Spain. So it's like I don't think they're still talking. I don't think they still talk like they're living in that moment of when they were down that bad. But like we still talk like we living in that moment of being down as bad as slavery or Jim Crow. Like we still speak like that, and we can't shake it.
Yo, oh my God. I just had a giant thought. Wow. You know, let's imagine reparations does get like passed in a major way, right? Let's just imagine. You realize who the biggest winners of all will be? And it won't be the individual Black person. It'll actually be the banking system who gets to handle all of this free money. And you know what Kanye is not supposed to tell you about the people who run the banks, but I'm going to get out of there.
Wait a minute, say that again. Run that back. It was 400 AD around that time when that happened. But run that one back. Run that one back. You said, okay, so the banks are going to be the big winners.
Well, I mean, do you think like a stork? Do you suppose a stork is going to deliver a bag of gold to each and every Black person? Is that how you think you're going to get your money?
No.
Think about all the cash handling that actually has to happen for that to get done effectively, and who's going to actually do all the cash handling? Damn, I just thought of that right now while you were sitting here talking about something. I was like, hold on, reparations isn't going to go to me; it's going to go to the goddamn bank.
Isn't that bank ran by those that we don't speak of? No, just playing. But anyway.
No, absolutely no banks are run by anybody we're not supposed to talk about. I'm trying to avoid that issue. I'm trying to be good. I promised I wouldn't be anti-Semitic in public, and I'm trying to keep my word.
Black Wolfing in the building says, can we stop only looking at Black history like it started and ended based on slavery in 1865? It's been over 100 years. We have more history than that. Absolutely. Nick Penn in the building says, exactly. She deflected to the slave discussion. Nick didn't even bring it up. He was talking about the Holocaust. Pearly brought up slavery 3 times. Yeah, I didn't know she brought it up 3 times, but yeah, that is accurate. She did bring that up and making comparison to the Holocaust. Yeah.
What do we get for $10? Everything you want.
Thank you for the $10 super chat. Do appreciate that. Was that the last one? Is that the last one? All right. The link in the chat. We got so off of the main topic because I was going in. I thought I was just about to have that discussion about the notion that the Black Manosphere is trying to save Kiesha, but it went all around and roundabout. But shout out to everybody in the building. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Why I got you here, and I don't want to waste it or don't want to blow it, but we got a Saturday show. We got a Saturday show brewing. It's going to be good. And I think we're going to have SKC on it from the start. I think we're going to have SKC on it from the start. So I guess while we wait for some more people to come on up, let's try to get the teaser trailer. Give us like the teaser trailer of what you want to try to lay out on Saturday.
Yo, I'm so upset with YouTube right now. Like I can't even do nothing with all this anger and rage I got brewing inside of me because I had a brilliant idea. You know how sometimes you just get a stroke of genius and you want to execute it as well as you can. And so I was thinking about this whole Black Manosphere Civil War as a show theme. And I thought, you know what would be dope? What if I actually went into like one of those Civil War, like American Civil War documentaries and just get some audio, like the audio of a battle going on in the background, so you know the whiz crack and the explosions and all that of musket fire and whatever. And so I had that playing in the background just for a little while because I couldn't even get it queued up properly. So I wound up getting it queued up for a few minutes. And so I'm talking about the ins and outs of the Black YouTube Civil War because it's bigger than the Black Manosphere. I just saw Anton Daniels and Anthony Bryan Logan talking about the whole Pearly thing. Sarah Garvey, came out and trashed her a little bit. Like it's bigger than the YouTube. It's bigger than Black Manosphere. It's now a Black YouTube thing, right? And so as I'm talking about the Black YouTube Civil War, and I got all these explosions and gunpowder and whiz bang crack going on in the background, I got a goddamn strike for like graphic content, and now I got a 2-week strike on my channel.
That's messed up. That's messed up.
Yo, for playing something that YouTube has on the YouTube already. And then when I appealed it, I put the link to the channel that I was playing in the background, and that still failed the appeal. I'm like, bro, it's your content. How am I bad for using it? But either way, we are in the middle of a Black YouTube Civil War right now. We are essentially battling for the hearts and minds of the renegade Negroes. There are apparently a lot of renegade Negroes lurking in and around the Black Manosphere. And this Pearly situation just highlighted for a lot of Black people how many renegade Negroes there are. And I think Jason Black pretty much coined it when he said he wants to solve the renegade Negro problem. He wants these niggas out of here. And that's kind of the nature of the Black YouTube Civil War. It's like people really want to like deal with Black men, quote unquote. They want us dealt with because we don't toe the line in this little race war that they're trying to start up. And I'd rather have a Black Civil War than be a little monkey soldier in your race war.
So, I mean, and that sort of makes my point that he did that whole thing. Like, put it like this. He didn't see it wasn't like he was just so hurt and triggered by what Pearly said. That was a way for him to basically get, as I didn't even know he was using that term, renegade. That was a way for him to get the renegade Negroes out of there. That he wanted to highlight that, connect her with, I guess, us or the renegade Negroes, and try to get everybody turning against them. It was funny when because when people like Courtney Michelle went up there on his show, based off as I understood what happened, it looked like he was trying to get her to publicly disavow everybody she was connected to on this side of the aisle. Like, you need to it basically had to almost publicly it reeked of a public apology, but like he wanted to get her to disavow O'Shea, even though O'Shea going out disavow. I forgot who else she had to disavow or
No,
disassociate
the word I
herself
use
from.
is prostrate. She had to prostrate herself in front of him.
Yeah, and then after he got her to disavow them, then he insulted her and kicked her off the show. It's like, damn.
He offered her first of all, he rejected her old titties. Like she was unbuttoning her bottom button, and he was like, "What are you doing over there with them titties? Hold on. You keep them titties to yourself, all right? We don't really respect your titties over here. But since you're willing to show me your titties, I will offer you this side bitch position." And she looked offended, but I think she going. I think she would go.
Yeah. I don't know about that. Have you covered the Sarah Garvey video yet?
I can't cover nothing, man. I'm on punishment. I'm scared to talk. I don't know what YouTube might get mad at. But no, I watched the Sarah Garvey thing actually right before I tuned into Anton. I watched it's a 10-minute video. So I watched Sarah Garvey, and Anton and ABL had a great conversation breaking down the ins and outs of what's going on. And speaking of Anton, let me say this, because this is why I said it's actually bigger than the Black Manosphere, right? I think pound for pound, Anton probably has a bigger platform than most guys of the Black Manosphere. And what he's doing in his support of Just Pearly things is actually kind of like giving the conversation a lot of gravity. Because the Manosphere, like it or not, comes with a little bit of negative criticism or whatever. And Anton doesn't have the same baggage as the Manosphere, right? So, married guy, long time, stable family, actually wealthy, independently wealthy, pretty much open book, as he liked to say, right? So he can kind of be a little bit more of a focal point for this conversation without, taking the built-in hits that the Manosphere would take. And by him supporting Pearl, it adds a lot of gravity to gravitas, I would argue to this whole thing. And he broke down why Sarah Garvey is essentially full of shit. It was great to watch that whole thing.
All right, well, we definitely going to get into that. Before we get into that, I got to ask you one question. What was your thoughts on ABL doing that video saying that Pearly should not have spoke to him or whatever? I looked at his comment section, and his entire comment section was against him. Because that's a Republican free speech platform. He got a lot of the red hat people over there, and they wasn't fucking with him saying
look.
It looked. Go ahead.
Now I tried to explain this to BGS. This is the conversation. The last time BGS and I were talking on Art's channel, it was like a couple weeks ago. The issue came up. The question came up about Black people and the culture of the right, the political culture of the right. And what I explained to him is that the problem that most Black people have with the right is that for the most part, you have to drop the blackness, right? That blackety black stuff. Because by and large, that's really not a conversation most people on the right are even comfortable having, let alone are going to give you like necessarily a friendly ear just off the jump, right? Whereas if you're on the left and anything you say about your Black racial oppression, anybody on the left is immediately going to offer you a hug and probably give you a couple of bucks or some shit like that. Just talking about the struggles of a Black person on the left is going to get you praise and kudos, whereas on the right, they're very sensitive to you trying to do your Black thing over here. It's you can be a Black person, you know what I mean? We're not going to turn you away because your skin is Black, right? Just don't try to nigger the place up. And I'm using that word to be triggering. Yeah, don't try to nigger the place up. I'm using that word to be triggering, but you know exactly what I mean if I make it that blunt. Right, yeah, you can be Black, you know what I mean? But you gotta be like us. Don't be like them niggas. That's the kind of shit that's going on the right. That's low key the unspoken culture of the right. And I think with ABL's chat, his chat was a little bit taken aback. It's bro, come on, you trying to do the Black thing. That's all that was. You just trying to be Black. Stop trying to. We know you Black, bro. You don't have to try to be Black. We can look at you. You Black. We get it.
Yeah, that was Yeah, that was a weird one on AB. I mean, it was out of character for him. It was out of character for him. It was out of place. It was out of nowhere, and I was like, I was taken aback by that. It's like, yeah, but anyway. I mean, I'm not tripping. Everything he said was something that people say, and perhaps there's some internal logic in there, but from him, I was like, seemed a bit contrived and deliberate, and I don't know. But all right, let's get let's get into this one. Let's get into this one. This was interesting. This is Pearlie's dude. You know, he'll explain their connection. He'll explain their connection.
Exactly. So you better get doing that right now. Over to you, pal.
I'm making this video today that I didn't initially want to make, but there comes a time when we're all at a crossroad and have to make a decision. And sometimes that decision can affect you morally, it can affect you spiritually, and it can affect you financially. But it's a decision that we can't shy away from. Now, recently, Just Pearly Things has been caught up in some controversy. Why? She has interviewed avid racist and known racist Nick Fuentes. He is also an anti-Semite. What did Pearl do when she interviewed him? What she done is that she laughed with him and seems to agree with a lot of his points.
Talk about instances of like when they initially freed the slaves, there were some slaves that felt so indebted to their owners that they would travel across states to pay them back, and they actually had a really good relationship with them.
Now, if she had said
let me say this. There was clearly parts of the interview that I didn't get to see the whole thing before she took it down, because I didn't even know that part existed. I didn't even know that part existed right there. Like, had you heard that part prior to this?
I haven't heard that part, but I know that reality.
You know,
like I didn't hear. I didn't hear Pearly. Yeah, I didn't hear Pearly addressing that as like I didn't watch that clip myself. So Sarah put that out himself because he probably has access or whatever. But and this is why I was going at Rod so hard.
Wait a minute. Are you saying that he put out some of the stuff that hit the cutting room floor that they didn't put out?
I would imagine. Because what he's doing right now is giving up a lot of inside baseball right now, which is like bad form. As you was gang, bro, you wasn't supposed to be up here telling everybody how gang operates when nobody's looking. But now because we having a little controversy, you turning your back on the gang. Like that's kind of fucked up.
Well, okay.
Because like y'all could have handled this in house. Is really the issue.
All right. So what do you know? And this is an area of the history that I don't know, and obviously an area of the history that Black folks don't speak about. But excuse me, it sounds like you were saying that there's some truth in that statement, that it was some Black people who were free, and then they moved, I don't know, north or wherever the hell, then they traveled back to south to do. Did she say pay back the slave master, or like what?
No. What she said was that at the end of slavery, people had there were written testimonials, right? Because people could read and write during that time. It's not like we were slaves in prehistory or something. So there are written testimonials. You can actually pull up on YouTube right now slave testimonials, because there were cameras around back then too. And let's say around like 1900, 1920, there were living descendants who were ex-slaves. Not descendants. There are living people who were ex-slaves. So they could talk about their experiences. And believe it or not every Black person who directly came out of slavery had anything negative to say about their white slave owners. There are people who are on record with no harsh criticisms for their white masters, because the reality of it is that, paperwork aside, the 99% of it was people living and working side by side. And so the reality of it is, yeah, the white people owned the Black people to a large degree. They were obviously Black slave owners, and there were even white slaves. Like, they were a bunch of light-skinned motherfuckers that just kept getting light-skinned as the generations went on, and they were slaves, right? So the reality is a lot more complicated than people would have us believe, because if you tell people
Wait, hold on,
just
let's back up.
white,
Let me just back up real quick. You said that 99% of it was people working side by side. You mean black people and white people working side by side?
yeah, on the plantation as property.
Okay, and any images that I see of slave, it was only black people in the field, and they was black than a motherfucker. So I have not
Well,
seen
because
images. Okay, go ahead.
who gave you those images to look at?
And you answered me. I mean, you tell me. I don't know. I just saw
I
them.
promised I would not be anti-Semitic in public anymore. Stop trying to trap me. I feel like you're trying to trick me. Like, no, but that's the game, though, isn't it? Though, who runs the popular media? No, the issue, the point I'm trying to make is this, right? If you were to actually read the writings of people who are closest to the event, you would hear about some brutalities and some atrocities and some horrible things, and you might shed a tear, you might put your black fist in the air, right? But you would also hear about like regular intimate relations between black and white people. But you don't talk about that in the modern day because it goes against it essentially it's basically like sacrilegious at this point to talk about the lesser known parts of slavery.
Yeah, I see. And my understanding of it is this, and I've read some of the slave narratives, and it was a show HBO produced something where they got Samuel L. Jackson and a bunch of black actors reading the the actual words, and some of them like even got in character and did the voice and the whole thing and all that. And they basically essentially some of it was sort of neutral and some of it was pretty damn bad. And but there are stuff that you can find, writings that you can find where it wasn't, where some people their experience wasn't that bad. But let me back up. I want to make sure I play those exact words. Hold on.
To agree with a lot of his points.
Talk about instances of like when they initially freed the slaves, there were some slaves that felt so indebted to their owners that they would travel across states to pay them back, and they actually had a really good relationship with them.
Now,
travel across states to pay them back. What were they paying them back? That's the part that I just didn't know nothing about, and that don't make sense. And what the hell was slaves paying back?
I can't answer that specifically, but I will say the whole sentiment of it wasn't just a hateful relationship is I think what she was trying to get at. Yeah, one person owned another person legally, but the people involved didn't have the type of relationship with one another that we now are trying to masquerade today in the modern day.
All right, Mr. Showtime down there. It looked like you outside on the street somewhere. I already could tell that audio gonna be bad. Like get somewhere and have a seat. Like you just walking around outside at night. Like it's like get somewhere, have a seat, and somewhere where you're stable and no background. Like, I'm seeing cars ride by. I can't let you up like that.
It's nighttime where you at? Must be like in Africa or something.
Yeah. You must be probably just got to stand right there because that's the only place you can get a good Wi-Fi connection. But all right, okay, that was a jab at Africa. All right. Anyway, all right.
If she had said some of these things about the Jewish community, she would have been cancelled in a hot minute. Ask Kyrie Irving. Ask Kanye West. Now, this isn't about the Jewish community. This is about us. Okay? And so after that interview, Pearl decided to make an apology video, which was, in my personal point of view, disingenuous and a PR stunt. And all in all, it came from a place of deception.
Guys, people say that stuff about.
And before we get into that real quick, because I was thinking this, but I wasn't necessarily buying it. I think it's more layers. But I know part of the response is that people had Stockholm syndrome. It says so. Stockholm syndrome isn't a thing. Fuck out of here with that BS. That's basically saying that no. Slavery was every bit as bad as we believe it was. They just had Stockholm syndrome. They wanted to go back to massa. That's the charge. I think that's the counter to the explanation as to why slaves were going back. But it's layered and detailed. But I understand that that's the thing that people throw out there. Well, let's keep it moving. Oh, go ahead.
Okay. Now, I just wanted to say that we are so spoiled in the modern day to even consider something like that as what you call Stockholm syndrome, because the reality of it is that for the entire history of humanity, people have sort of let's say bonded themselves to one another just for survival. So like there are probably a bunch of different movies you could pull up where, like, one guy basically say, kung fu movies are great at this. Will you be my master? Please be my master. Like that, you see that in the old school kung fu movies. Like that was a goddamn theme in a lot of old school kung fu movies where one person would literally beg another person to make a way for them in the world, because survival was always a difficult thing. And if you were a person with nothing and you came across a person with something, you just might be willing to like dedicate your life to that person so that you could benefit from whatever they had to offer. That was the way it was for the majority of human history, right? This concept of like things being what you call the Stockholm syndrome. No, it could very well be that one person looked at all the possibilities of life that he could have just landed in through no fault of his own. You could have just been born as a worse off nigga. And you looked around at all the other worse off niggas and was like, you know what? I actually got a good deal considering all things considered, I got a good deal. But us in the modern day, we act like we have no conception of that type of reality.
Yeah, and because it's legitimately a hard one to swallow. It really is. It really. I understand why that's hard to swallow, and then when you do even talk about that, then you get put in the Steven from Django category or whatever. But it's hard as it is to swallow, and I just like, I'm the person who and yes, this is just modern day 21st century 2023 chest beating. I'm like, if I was a slave, I wouldn't be a slave for that long. We either about to take the ship, or we gonna get killed trying. That's where I'm at with it. But I understand that some of them in those situations, yeah, I understand the logic of what you're saying. It just that I can't accept it. I can't accept it, but I understand it. It just is what it is. But all right, let's move on. Let's move on.
Me, they say I'm sexist, they say I'm a misogynist, and I really just like to give people the benefit of the doubt when I interview them. I don't go into interviews trying to interrogate someone. I just more try to listen and see where they're coming from. In hindsight, that wasn't smart. And in hindsight, I should have had someone, maybe Sarah Garvey, maybe another content creator that could have pushed back more and really was more educated on the topics that he was talking about than I was, because I certainly was not an expert in any of the stuff that he was talking about.
Now, I've been on social media for a while, and I have done interviews with the likes of Tommy Robinson, Sargon of Akkad, politicians like Lee Jasper, and also Lin May, and people from the music industry like So Solid, Mega Man to be exact. Now, Pearl was reacting to my content prior to coming to the UK. And so when she came to the UK, I was very interested in the content that she would actually put out. And it just so happened that she was putting out content that I was interested in, similar to what the late, great Kevin Samuels actually put out. And I understand it because I myself had been embroiled in court cases and things of that nature when it comes to the mother of my son, and understand that the gynocentric order in which we live in is something that needs to be spoken about. So when she came to London, she said that she wanted to make a podcast. And I said, no problem. Okay, let's talk about it. And I decided to feature on her show. Now, when I featured on her show, because of my following in the UK, people would tune in. So essentially, I helped Pearl grow her channel. Okay, I was on there week to week, and I was working with her based on a fee. So the tragic death of Kevin Samuels happened, and there was a vacuum within the ManoSphere space. Who was it going to be filled by? It was actually filled by just Pearly Things, along with other content creators. Now, I believe that the reason why this space was filled is because Kevin Samuels had a large following of black men. And these black men were essentially fed up with the way feminism had taken over their community, specifically their women. So when he died, there was a vacuum and a lot of black men looking for content like this. And it was filled by Pearl. And I believe that Pearl rose to fame because she herself was the opposite of what those men had been seeing. She was a white woman.
Okay. The only flaw in his argument, well, I shouldn't say the only flaw, the flaw in his argument, and I've been beating this dead horse, is that black men in the black manosphere who rocked with Kevin Samuels' content, I see little evidence that in large number they went over there watching Pearly Things. That was never a thing. That was something that was actually created by George Macon. So that's O'Shea's boy. That was created by George Macon when he said Pearly Things is the woman king of the black manosphere. That was created right there. I explained it. I broke it down. I broke it down like this. We all can sit here and tell you Kevin Samuels' show schedule. Even dead for damn near a year, and we still know it was on YouTube. It was Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 p.m. On Tuesday and Thursday, it was Instagram at 10 p.m. When he missed the show, especially when he didn't go on YouTube, if he didn't show up on a Wednesday, Monday, or Friday show, we noticed. Every day we came in after, the morning shows start, everybody ran to the chat rooms to talk about what we saw on Kevin Samuels last night. This one chick that said this one crazy stuff and blah, blah, blah. And that was a whole talk of the black manosphere. We was not running in here on some, hey, did y'all see what happened on Pearly last night? It's like that wasn't a thing. She grew off shorts. She grew off of shorts. Like no, it was she didn't feel a void of black men missing Kevin Samuels. That is bullshit. If anything, Fresh and Fit's numbers went up to where they was getting about maybe close to 10,000 every night, to where I noticed they start getting a more consistent 15,000 every night after Kevin Samuels died. And a lot of other shit blew up. But it was the idea that that again, I will always stand on that was fake news, that black men went over there in great numbers supporting Pearly Things. I don't buy that. She do not got an American black male audience. Don't buy it. Don't buy it at all. But all right. You back? Hood Conservative. Mike
Yeah,
check
I'm
on
ready.
Hood Conservative. Okay. All
Mic
right.
check.
All right. Cool. AI show. Okay, he says, if you mean what that guy was saying about slavery, I would disagree. Okay, cool. Let me get you up here. We're gonna talk about that. What was Hood Conservative saying about slavery that you had disagreement with? You got the floor, you got the mic. Oh, he bailed that fast soon as he came up, he bailed. All right, come back up if you can. If you want to speak to your
Floor is
disagreement.
open.
The floor is open. But all right, Mr. Showtime. I'm not letting you up walking around on the streets of Nigeria or wherever the hell you at. Like, dude, get somewhere stationary. Okay, hold on. See, I can already tell. That's Plantation Wireless. Dude, no, I'm not letting you up. You got to get some stationary and stable. I can already get you. I already can tell. All right, Hood. Go. I mean, well, let me roll some more of the tape. I was just doing an explanation and a breakdown. Like I've asked everybody what was Pearly's Things live show schedule, and nobody has been able to just spit it right out. What's her live show schedule? Nobody knows. Like, I don't think there are some people who watch her live show, but it's not the Kevin Samuels effect. It's not like that. Like, everybody in this space was really watching and rocking with Kevin Samuels. With her, it was a different. It was a different thing. She grew without us knowing.
Well, look. The fact that
Go
she is coming from a UK based audience, right? You would assume that her initial like core following, especially as like the live streams and stuff are concerned, you're getting a lot of just like home team advantage. You know what I mean? Because you're picking people from the UK. So these individual people are advertising their own individual Instagrams and whatever stuff like that. And so I would imagine that she's got just a lot of native, support because she's over in the UK. And them being successful in the UK, you catapult a little bit further onto like the quote global stage.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, I'm gonna go to Black Wolf. I think I know what you wanted to come up and comment on, but go ahead. You got the floor. You got the mic.
Yeah, how you doing, fam? What's up?
What's up?
Not much. You're getting off work, but I kind of wanted to clarify my super chats a little earlier. In fact, I don't even really remember what I said, but I think can you clarify to me what I said? Yeah, I know. I get off work, man.
I want to clarify
that shit
what
long
you
gone
said,
by
but
now.
Yeah, no, I know.
No, I thought you was coming to comment specifically on because I made a comment. I was breaking down like what really happened after Kevin Samuels died, because the Sarah Garvey guy basically saying Pearly filled some void that black men had, and I say bullshit on that. She grew off YouTube short reels. That's not a void being filled. I didn't see black men over there in great numbers watching her content and reacting to her content to the degree of Kevin Samuels. I've been asking anybody what's Pearly's current live stream show schedule. Nobody can name it, but we can name what Kevin Samuels' live stream show schedule was. Nobody was watching her fucking with her like that. Just the reason she haven't even lost no subscribers, because nobody got to be subscribed to her to unsubscribe. She has a broad UK audience and just a general YouTube audience mixed with some general manosphere red pill and a splash of black YouTube and black manosphere. But anyway, is this the comment that you wanted to clarify?
No, I say like I think that well, the reason why I say I think this space is it's sometimes a little pussy led, and the reason why I say that is because and maybe this is what Kuda's been telling me for a while, but I don't know where the assumption is that Pearly was running the space, but
no, that's
this reaction.
Wait, hold on. A bunch of pro-blacks, not a bunch, one in particular started that rumor when she had like 600,000 subs, when she got into that argument with Hafiz, where Hafiz tried to shit on the entire manosphere, and then everybody basically dunked on Hafiz, and then George Macon said, y'all attacking this black man because he went at a white woman. She the woman king of the black manosphere, and then pro-blacks ran with that and said this white woman is running y'all space. That's how it happened. That's chronology. That's what happened. That's how that all got started, and then it all came to a head when Jason Black saw her interview with Nick Fuentes and then tried to basically expand on that argument. And now everybody, people who don't even know the history, the chronology, are saying, yeah, y'all let a white woman in. Yeah, that white woman running y'all space. Yeah, that white woman.
Well, you know what's so like interesting about that,
conservative, you spot on. Like conservative, you spot on, family. You called it. You called it, man. That's exactly what that is. It's a power play.
And no, look at that. Look at that thing with Hafiz too, right? So a black man can't even embarrass himself in front of a white woman because that had nothing to do with anybody else. It was just them two having a conversation, right? It was Hafiz and Pearl in front of the camera, and he had that moment, and it became our fault for him having that moment. Because what he did was for everyone to see. His behavior was for everyone to look at. But because we noticed how fucked up and weird he was looking, it's now our fault. We somehow bear responsibility, and we're supposed to like defend his goofiness because she's white. It don't make no sense. You're not allowed to be weird and goofy because the girl's white, bro.
Yeah, true. He got came at on ideological grounds, and he was trying to basically his whole mission. He went like on a 1 month period, like a damn near tour, where all he was trying to do is kick legs out from under the table that all of our platforms that all of our YouTube channels were sitting on. Jason Black
embarrassed himself.
The same thing, but actually doing it a little more effectively. That's basically everybody's content strategy now, to basically just try to shit on black manosphere content creators. That's the content strategy. But
I've seen a few of them. But I don't go to their channels anymore.
But yep. But all right. So who else do we have in here? The AI show. You disagreed on the slavery thing. Well, Black Wolf, did you say what you came up to get off?
Well, I mean, 100%. Like this topic, it's kind of another one of those. We're just gonna be talking about it for the day, and then tomorrow we might not even bring it back up because I don't know where this is gonna go, and I don't even see where the controversy is. Like being honest, like I
Yeah.
really don't see the problem.
No,
I just
I
think
think
some people just being
It's not
butthurt.
over. It's not over. Pearl's supposed to drop
yeah,
some kind of clapback sooner or later, so it's definitely
this
not
thing
over. We got a whole
this
nother month in this, bro.
I
Oh
was
shit.
giving it a week. I was giving it a week. Hood giving it a month. We'll see. But the AI show, you said you disagree with something that that Hood Conservative was saying
Well,
about
actually,
slavery. Go ahead.
actually, yeah, it's Al show. Sorry, people make the mistake of, I guess, because it
Oh, okay,
appears
gotcha.
AI, but it's really Al, but that's okay,
Yeah,
no
yeah.
problem. So actually, you had asked me in the back, whether I agreed or disagreed. So that's where that came from. I actually came out to talk about just Pearly, but I'll briefly
Well, no, I
respond
mean,
in regards to
is your
slavery.
whatever you got to say about Pearly? Is it more in agreement or
Oh, okay.
disagreement with what was being said? So either way to go,
Well,
I was just trying to
here's the
gauge.
thing about.
We were
Okay,
going to
sorry.
review the video, but if you got something you disagree on, then I was going to give I give preference to people who disagree. So either way, go ahead. You're up here
Okay,
now.
yeah, okay, well, that makes sense. So here's what I will say in regards to this whole Miss Pearly controversy that I've said elsewhere. I never understood initially what the appeal of this woman was to either a African American audience or any other type of audience, because I hate to be blunt, but I find the woman unintelligent, uninspiring, and completely unattractive, in that order, or maybe in some other order. And I
And I
don't
think that's why
see
she
what.
that's why she doesn't have a strong Black American, particularly Black American. That's why she doesn't have a strong Black American audience.
Well, see, that is I would say the reigning narrative is that she does have a audience. I don't know if it's an African American audience entirely or a Black UK audience, but that has been the reigning narrative.
No,
In
I
my
haven't even
understanding.
been able to. I haven't even been able to figure out, or I won't say figure out. I haven't been able to find evidence that she has a majority Black audience. Like Kevin
She has
Samuels
a
had
black
people
audience,
of
but
That's
not
interesting.
majority.
Kevin Samuels had people of all races, but his was
Mhm.
definitely majority Black. Definitely majority Black. I
Right,
have seen no
right.
evidence that she has a majority Black audience. Again, that is narrative that people are running with. That is narrative
Now, see, that's
that people are
interesting.
running with.
Right, that's interesting to me because I don't. I think this is the first time I've heard that anywhere. I don't know if I've heard that anyone dispute the appeal that Just Pearly has in terms of a Black audience, whether it's UK or US.
I would
So,
love to see the evidence. I would love to see the evidence
okay,
because when I look
I
at
would
her chat
agree.
room,
At this
when
point,
I
I would agree too. I'd like to see numbers at this point. Now that you brought it up, I'd like to see numbers. But anyway, the prevailing notion is that. So the problem that I have with Just Pearly, or that I noted at some time ago, actually, is that was problematic quite a long time ago, like maybe last year when I was on the panel, on someone's panel. I said, I don't get it. I don't get the appeal of this woman to any audience, whether it's a Black UK audience or a Black audience in the US. I don't get the appeal. And since this controversy has come out, I've realized actually why the show has kind of picked up, what is it, over 1 million subs or so forth. I now see why it's kind of been successful. It's because despite the fact that this is a woman who has the personality of chalk, who is completely uninteresting, that what she's done is essentially set her show up like a therapy group. She has like usually a few women, based on the videos I have seen, she has like a few women, maybe a couple guys and a few women. I think this Sarah Garvey guy was one of them at times. But she has a number of women and maybe only a couple of guys, right? And so she serves as a kind of therapist / facilitator.
But no, more like she used to just debate them. She learned a bunch of ManoSphere red pill talking points. She would ask them questions. They would say stuff that modern Western women would say, and she would just dunk on their argument with stuff that she got from men. Like that was pretty much
bro.
And
you gotta understand, bro. But you're saying you don't understand the attraction, and I get, she's not like, a IG model or whatever, but you just explained it though. That's the irony. You don't get it, but you get it. No, you don't get it, but you got it. How the fuck?
Like I did it.
Well, no, this is what's happening. Hold on, real quick. Yeah, okay. You said at first you didn't. Yeah, I don't think nobody just watches it. Like for example, if she just did a show where she just sat there and looked at the camera and just did just solo screen, just her talking, looking at the camera, saying what she thinks, and it just looked like that. Like no. I don't think nobody would really be watching that. I think what people tune in for, they want to hear the argument, they want to hear the debate. Okay, hold on. Somebody got background.
Right.
I don't think Fresh and Fit, they couldn't have grown it with just them just sitting there looking at the camera, talking, telling people what they think.
They tried, it didn't work.
They
tried
that. Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing about Fresh and Fit, and I don't like.
Well, no. We might about to get too much on a tangent with that, but either way, that was the appeal of the show. Having disagreements, having debates. When I bring on somebody who disagree, I've been sitting here with cruising at 300 live viewers. Somebody who disagree come up and I debate them on male female social dynamics. I can watch the views go up to 400 in less than 20 minutes, just off back and forth disagreement and debate. Like that was the appeal. She set up a studio, she got people in there, she debated the points, she got people in there that disagreed with ManoSphere shit, and she debated it, and that was that. That's the appeal. Nobody's sitting there Indian style trying to learn from Pearl like that, but that was the appeal. Why the wider global YouTube audience, because I think 50% of her people aren't even from the States, the wider global YouTube audience enjoyed listening to her show. But we got Clarence Jr. in the building. Welcome aboard. Speaking of people that disagree, shout out to you.
Here we go.
Welcome aboard. What you got, man? What you got?
Here we go.
I come in peace. Happy Friday, everybody.
Yeah, no doubt. What's up? What you got?
I just want to backtrack a little bit because the main issue isn't even necessarily Pearl per se. The issue is the reaction. And as a matter of fact, I will admit to this. Jason Black clearly was using Pearl to attack you guys' space. Like, that's undeniable.
Thank you. That's undeniable. Okay.
That's good. Respect, man. Respect.
However, and my issue wasn't necessarily whether you guys listened to her, liked her, or didn't like her. That wasn't the issue. Like, we can go back as far back as like 4 or 5 months because people didn't just now get an issue with Pearl like last week. They had issue with her a while ago over something else. And my issue and a lot of others people's issue is, for whatever reason, when there was a contingency of black men and black women who said, you know what, we're not really feeling this chick. The response that they got from some people, I'm not going to say everybody, but the response that they got from some people in the space was to, you ain't this, you ain't that, you jealous, she's better than you.
You said this was 4 months ago?
4 months ago, and then it came up again.
Okay, so 4 months ago, that's in the timeline with the whole Hafiz controversy, where she was debating Hafiz around that time.
Yeah, it was that, and it was also I think the Me Too situation was also around that time where it came to the light or whatever.
Yeah, when I finally did research on the Me Too situation, the video that I found had 5,000 views. Like, that wasn't a big thing. Like, that was buried on her channel. Somebody found it, put it out there. Perhaps the person that put it out there wasn't big enough to make it spread all through YouTube, or maybe she wasn't big enough for it to spread all through YouTube. That was really the kill shot. If Jason Black really wanted to try to get black men to bring her down, that was the video that he needed to get his hands on, or probably I mean, he get his hands on that one. He can do some damage with that one. He can do some
Too
damage
late.
with that one.
It's too late.
What'd you say? Oh, he already did.
No, it won't be as effective. Like he already had his shine. He's done.
Well, possibly, but so all right. So if you sounds like Clarence, it sounds like you're talking about that. She came out. A lot of people weren't feeling her, and this was about 4 months ago, where she kind of got on this space's radar when she got into that whole little scuffle with Hafiz, where we saw Hafiz. Oh, Hafiz is going with Hafiz was trying to be the blue pill Andrew Tate. He was trying to shit on the entire red pill, and everybody clapped back at him. And then a particular pro-black George Macon was the one who started it, and then O'Shea picked it up and made a video with the title that Pearly Things is the woman king of the Black Manosphere, because we clapped back on Hafiz with the shit he said about us in a debate with her. That was how all of that happened, and that was how she got on her radar. Fast forward 4 months later, she got 1.3 million subs that didn't come from us, because we don't, it ain't not that many of us. But so either way it go, I don't think the pushback or the clapback was people criticizing people because they criticize her. It was all people defending themselves, because she was used back then as a stick to try to attack black men, or more in particular the Black Manosphere with. That was what happened. They used her as a stick to try to attack black men who got a very minimal amount to do with her. Come on, who got Black Wolf? That's you. We got babies crawling around. That's Clarence. Clarence. Okay, one of y'all got kids crawling around in the back. But either way, let's make this very clear. It was a stick that was used to attack the Black Manosphere, or to attack black men with. Black men defended that from that attack, or the Black Manosphere defended itself from that attack. And then it was told, "Oh, y'all just love y'all worshiping this white chick." That's what would happen. But go ahead.
Well, the issue was how the defense was given. It was, once again, like I've heard so many just crazy things. Like in guys, guys may be defending themselves in the space, but how it sounds is like it's a defense of Pearl. Because I've heard everything under the sun. Like, you're jealous of her. She's smarter than you. She works harder than you.
Some people, okay. Well,
where did you hear that from mostly?
Wait, hold on, wait, real quick. The smarter thing, I haven't heard anybody say that. The work harder, people have said that. I think I've said that, and maybe it's not work harder, but she definitely works smarter. She has a team of people. When she does one live show, she got a team of people who chop and screw that shit into like 45 different pieces of content that she spam the algorithm with throughout the week. Take that and multiply it by, I think, 3 live shows per week. She's putting out over like around 160, 150 uploads a week, and a lot of them are in the short feed that just make your channel grow like crazy. So in the sense that her he's going to get into some of her bad hiring, employment management tactics. Her hiring a bunch of Nigerians, having them basically working around the clock for chopping and screwing her videos. Yeah, that's how she spammed the algorithm, and that's how she blew up. So yeah, that part is true. But smarter, no. People jealous, yeah, and that's the white manosphere too. They liked her, they rocked with her, and was cool with her until she got bigger than all of them. Then all of a sudden they started hating. That's when Rolo started hating. I think the Anthony Dream Johnson dude started hating. Everybody had an issue with her when she got bigger. So I think the jealous thing is true. We saw that happen with Kevin Samuels. We saw that happen with Fresh and Fit. Everyone, as soon as people get big, they get enemies. They get people. So that happened.
But I don't think anybody is hating on her. I think people are just saying, like, it's clear that she's just saying these things for money. She has no relationship experience. And people are saying, how are you guys watching somebody regurgitate?
What guys? Hold. Time out. No. Bernard, let me jump in, because I had to point this out, bro. If you can weaponize a white woman, I'm damn sure going to weaponize a white woman, right? And you just did it right there. You guys are watching this white woman. Yeah, why are you so offended by this white woman? What is it about this white woman that upsets your blackness so much, brother? My brother?
I wasn't saying I wasn't saying like specifically you guys in this space are watching. I'm just saying a lot of people are watching her clearly, and you know she's everywhere. And what I'm saying is, how are so many? And the reason I say you guys,
hold on, but you
real
know
quick,
the attack. The attack is, why are you guys, meaning you grown ass black men who make, produce, consume, and listen to Black Manosphere content, why are y'all going sitting Indian style on the floor listening to pearly things? That's the argument, and you know it. So when you said, why are you guys watching her, that we know what that was. We know what that was, bro. Like, come on.
well,
like,
let me rephrase that. When you see so many black men praising how great of a businesswoman and YouTuber she is, when everybody can clearly see that nothing she's saying is sincere, it's like, but you're telling black men and black women
That's
you
the
should be
business,
more
bro.
like her.
That makes it even better. That makes you such a hater, bro. You are such a hater right now. If she can actually just take the words, read off a script, and build an empire from it, that speaks to everything about the business and nothing about the content. And that's the point of congratulating the business savvy of it. And you just don't want to acknowledge a simple thing because you are not above weaponizing a white woman to attack black men. That's all it ever boils back down to.
Hold on. What I'm saying is, I'm not saying she's not good at business, but what I'm saying is some of us actually have a real investment in this black love conversation. And so when we see somebody saying you should be more like her because she's a good business person, it's like
you should be more
everybody.
like, I mean, more like her business.
Yeah, in terms of how she.
Yes. I'm going to try to run my YouTube channel in terms of how I in terms of the amount of content I put out and how I do it, and I'm going to follow her. I'm going to follow that strategy. I mean, she followed aspects of Kevin Samuels and Fresh and Fit, what they did, their business model, but she added a layer to it with the shorts and having a bunch of Nigerians chopping and screwing her video, spamming the algorithm with a bunch of shorts. That's really the added layer that she did, and I'm going to try to add that layer as well, as most people should if they want their channel to grow. But
yo, real quick.
But we hold on, but we understand that there's an aspect of her that is mediocre when it comes to just her experience and her ability to communicate the stuff sometimes, because sometimes she become a deer in headlights. But either way it goes, the actual the business aspect. Okay, this is what I'm trying to say, and I'll pass it to Hood Conservative. You have to separate two things. The business, how she worked the business and the algorithm of YouTube is separate from how she individually does something. Like, there's plenty of people who are probably better at communicating these points than I am, but I'm doing something bigger and better with my presentation and how I network and do certain things, so where my channel is bigger. All right. My channel is bigger than a lot of people that are probably better at, spitting this shit out than me. So that's what we're talking about. And those two, so somebody will be hating on me to say, Bernard is just mediocre at this and mediocre at that. Okay, but either way it go, I'm figuring out a way to win. All right. That's where the hate comes in. That's where the hate comes in. But go ahead, Conservative.
Hell, I totally lost the point I was gonna make.
I'm sorry.
I forgot what I was even thinking about. It don't even matter. But still, no. This whole conversation, it just keeps coming back to weaponizing a white woman against black men, which, it's all fair in love and war. So my whole thing, to respond directly to Clarence Jr., because I want to kind of double down on something he was saying before, like, so what? If black men are saying, well, this white woman got this and this white woman got that, and you just mad at her, so what? If y'all gonna use her to attack our blackness, we're gonna use her to attack your manhood.
Clarence, are you there? Are you there, Clarence? I can't even see. Oh, damn, he left. I had the screen down. All right, he left. All right, so now we're gonna pull up the Garvey video and get back into that. We're gonna get back into that. Okay, Clarence is back. All right, go ahead. He said, if you're going to use this white woman to attack our blackness, he's using her to attack your manhood or something like that. Did I quote you right, Conservative? Conservative, did I quote you correctly?
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, that's accurate.
All right, go ahead, Clarence. All right, Clarence got issues. Real quick, Mr. Showtime, what's up? What you got?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. How old are you?
Loud and clear.
Hi, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mr. Showtime. I'm from Newcastle, South Africa. So lately I've been hearing a lot of talks about this whole Pretty Things and her hosting this supremacist political figure named
Yeah, what you
Nick
got on it?
Fuentes.
What you got on it? Yeah, okay, cool. What you got on it? Yeah.
Yeah, so thingy, just Pretty Things, I heard that she was warned by, the Anthony Brian Logans that she shouldn't bring someone who's that controversial on. But now Mr. Showtime has a different perspective. I say that there was nothing wrong with what Just Pretty Things said throughout her statements, right, with Nick Fuentes. As a matter of fact, I think she should have brought on someone like a Dr. Umar Johnson, two polar opposite figures. Let them have a spat at each other, and then let her just fall back and just moderate. People would have loved to see that instead. But check this out. Just Pretty Things is a grifter, right? And I've said
Real
this
quick,
in my
Mr.
previous videos as well.
Showtime, that would be the fight of the century, by the way. I would love to see that. That we could Don King some shit like that. That needs to happen.
Oh yeah, definitely. That would be the rumble in the jumble, right? A white supremacist versus a black supremacist. The public would totally eat it up, right? So check this out. Just Pretty Things. There was someone in the chat that said something about Stockholm syndrome. Absolutely 100% spot on. The black community has an issue of Stockholm syndrome. O'Shea Duke Jackson mentioned something very similar. He said that us blacks, we have a problem networking and working amongst each other because we have a self-hate, self-loathing complex. So much so that we need a white person to come on into the mix and call the shots. Only then ninjas act right. We know how to take orders, but amongst ourselves, we have difficulty working.
Okay, so it's Pearly Things calling. So it's Pearly Things calling shots over for like Africans or wherever you're from that listen to content for men, or is she calling shots on y'all? Because she's not calling shots on none of us over here. Is that what she doing? She running y'all?
Well, yeah, in the context of she has a lot of black employees from all
is she
over.
running y'all? Is she running y'all over there? Like, do y'all look to her? Like, do y'all look up to her and want to hear what she's saying? Do y'all sit Indian style on the floor and just want to reach up and touch the hem of her garment when she talk? Like, I want to try to understand what is all this needing a white person to run it stuff. Is that how y'all roll?
Well, thingy, from my side of the world, as far as I know, I'm the only red pill content creator here in South Africa. So I don't know any other people that listen to her, right? But I'm talking from your side of the world. What I see is
we don't. Yeah, I haven't. It is my position that most black people over here on Black YouTube, and I would even say the Black Manosphere, don't listen to her that much. The only thing we see is her short reels when they come on our feed. I've been asking people, hey, what's her live stream show schedule? Nobody can answer that question. Nobody knows. People don't really fuck with her like that. This is a narrative.
Yeah, definitely. Pretty Things is she specializes in entertainment. When she brings on high profile figures like Brittany Renner and Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate is about to be released, so I've heard. So you bet your lucky star she's gonna host him again, and she's gonna get like 10 million views and 10 million subscribers just off of that. No one goes to Just Pretty Things to listen to what she has to say, but people look at her hosts. So yeah, her guests, basically.
Yeah. She put together an entertaining show. Put together an entertaining show from So yeah, I agree with that. All right. I wanted to get back to the tape, but I guess we'll get some more of Clarence Jr. and see what you got on this. You got your plantation wireless together, man.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on. I couldn't hear anything. I could tell
All
you I
right,
was
well,
talking, but I couldn't hear anything.
all right, cool. Let's okay, what is this? RM just sending me a link. Actually, RM, pull the super chats up. I haven't read no super chats in a while. Haven't read no super chats. Okay, RM just sent me the link to. Oh wow, that is a weird video thumbnail. Holy shit. Yeah, I'm just channel. Okay, interesting. All right, Aaron, pull a super chat. So let me get to these super chats real quick before we go any further with this. Clue Channel in the building says the most famous fictional slave Django was treated fairly by his master. Slaves like Django existed. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. The Clue Channel back in here with another one says if you're born a slave, setting you free would be cruel. What? Would you set your dog for okay, humans are different than dogs, smarter than dogs, and like stop. That was ridiculous. He said bounty, I put it at 50. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. Go carry on to the next one. Okay, that was it. All right. Oh, and shout out to Stacker Starve who sent a $5 cash app. I do appreciate that. Shout out to Stacker Shout out to Stacker Starve putting 5 on it. All right. Clarence, what's the last thing you remember?
I think we were talking loosely about Pearl, but I think I have a more interesting question.
Good. Bring it on. I'm listening.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
My question would be, I understand the origin of the space, and I remember the origin of it, and all those kinds of things. But seeing as where we are now, we're in podcast culture, we're in relationship conversation culture. Do you think that maybe it would be best to kind of still talk about whatever you want to talk about, but maybe tone down some of the language and the imagery in terms of thumbnails? And the only reason I ask that is because we're now moving into a space where the Black image overall is being trashed for monetary reasons by non-Black people at this point. Because now all you got to do is put up a thumbnail and say, "Oh, this 304 gets checked, and this trash bag Pookie gets this." So it's happening to both Black women and Black men, where anybody out there, because they see what we're doing to one another, they're saying, "Oh, I can jump in on this and I can get a whole bunch of views just by this thumbnail and this title." And so that's my question. Do you think that maybe now we should maybe tone it down? Still say what we say, but maybe not use certain words and certain thumbnails, because now everybody is doing it, aiming it at us.
Okay, and by everybody doing it, hold on. So by everybody doing it, aiming it at us, my short answer to the question is no. I think we should produce the content that we produce, and if the topic and title is that what you describe, I don't think nothing is wrong with representing that in the thumbnail and the title. Your argument essentially amounts to you're trying to this is what I call that making a just shut up argument that's essentially running interference. What you're trying to do is run interference for problematic behavior of Black women that you don't want it talked about. You want it swept under the rug.
No,
you're
I'm not so much worried
about somebody else. You're not so much worried about somebody else doing it. You're just trying to find an excuse or a reason for us not to do it.
I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying you can't say like modern woman and all that kind of. I'm just saying like when it's like hoe and bitch and you got the thumbnail and the Black woman is all muscular and then there's another woman and she's all soft and light. What I'm saying is now everybody is doing that. Like if you get on TikTok, there's so many different clips of different people with podcasts. You can't even tell what race they are. Like, are they Middle Eastern? What are they? Everybody's doing it now. And it's not, and once again, it's not just aimed at women. More and more of that is going towards men. You're going to see a whole lot more of racially ambiguous women saying that, oh, the black man is this, and the black man, you're going to see a whole lot more of that on both sides. So I'm not saying don't say, hey, this woman, she's sleeping around, she's promiscuous, she doesn't do this. I'm just saying, like, some of the words and some of the thumbnails. That's all.
Okay, so you can't get us to shut up, but you want to police the thumbnails. Okay, I got you.
I don't want anybody to shut up. I'm just saying, like, are you saying you haven't noticed that, like, now it's everywhere and everybody's doing it?
I haven't noticed outside
That
of
makes you
black people
sad.
doing it.
That
I
makes you
honestly haven't
sad to
noticed
see
it. It
that,
probably
bro.
happens, but go ahead, Hood.
No, I'm
No,
not
I mean,
sad,
like,
but I mean, I could be wrong, but I thought
okay.
one of the goals of the space was to work on the black male image.
Okay. I mean, one, listen, all right, I'm gonna try to take this argument head on. The black male image has largely been under assault and mostly at the hands of black women. At
I
least that's
agree.
kind of the
I
position that the
agree.
space takes, right? And so if you're telling me that the image of black men is now taking an even bigger hit because it's not a good look tearing down the image of black women, I would argue that, everybody gets bloody in a battle, bro.
Well, it's interesting that you said battle because it's like that's another thing. It's like, what is the fight for exactly?
Well, you tell me, because you got a video up saying that I lied about something. So I mean, you're clearly battling. Like, don't pretend that I don't understand this rhetorical battle or this gender war when you've picked a side. And you're out there in the trenches. Well, not in the trenches, but you picked a side and you on the battlefield. So don't be, well, what is this battle about when you clearly picked a side? Like, what is the video? What did I lie about? What is the video you said I lied about something? I just saw the title and thumbnail and kept scrolling.
Oh,
what was that about?
But just to be clear, I'll get to that part later.
Because you clickbaited. So you clickbaited a video of saying that I lied, but you worrying about other people putting images.
I'm gonna tell you what it said.
Okay.
Let me go back.
You got to go look at what you said?
No, in one of your streams, I think it was probably last week, you said something about, I think you were saying along the lines of black men are not supporting her or something like that.
I still stand by that statement. She grew off the short reels, and I see no major evidence that growth was mostly or majority or even large minority caused by black men rallying behind her. I stand on that statement.
My argument against that was she uses a lot of, well, I'm not even going to use the word user. She works with a lot of black people, and if you look at a lot of the thumbnails, it's mostly black women that she's pointing at her to, like this one.
It's funny you say that. Jason Black made the argument that you see white people in the thumbnails, but black people on the show. I find it so funny that a lot of the pro-blacks that who be having their criticism of Africans are taking these Nigerian immigrants to London who got a completely different experience, who are socialized and cultured completely differently to the point where they don't even call themselves black. But y'all FBA ADOs got y'all fist in the air for some black people with Kelly Osbourne accents over there. Like, it's so weird that that racially triggered. It's just
first of all, I wouldn't. I'm not a part of the ADOS or FBA gangs because they're both of those groups are.
You're Pan-African. You're Pan-African.
No.
Them your brothers and sisters over there on Pearlie's couch.
No. But the only reason I even because I mean they are black, but my main point is they may be British and have a completely different experience, but the way they frame the black love conversation is a direct carbon copy of what's going on in America.
Do you hear a very specific, precise Black love conversation, or do you hear general conversations about modern women, modern Western women conversations, and you know, because that which one do you hear more? Because we know what that conversation was like when Kevin Samuels had them chicks and they was talking, that they was having a black ass conversation. Like it's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Are you seriously telling me you hear that same conversation over there, or do you hear just a more general modern Western woman conversation?
It's more general than what's over here, but there's definitely a lot of, copy and pasting going on as well.
It's copy and pasting, but I don't think she copy and pasting the black ass conversation. I think she's copy and pasting the general modern woman conversation. I actually found one. I actually did find one where it was all black people on the panel, and she asked a very specific question about do black women such and such, blah blah blah. I saw one video of that. One. And it was an older one. It was an older one that somebody reposted. And that was the one time where it looked like where I finally saw what people was talking about. But that's just one where it looked like she was leading a black conversation about black people. And so overall, by and large, her channel is just it's the modern woman show. The only thing I'll say, and she used the excuse of her recruiter is Nigerian. And look, I understand it is hard to recruit people to get them to come in the studio. Like you gotta, like even Fresh and Fit talked about how hard that is. So she said her guy is Nigerian, and so basically he connected with the London Nigerian or the black community in London or whatever, and that's she said that's why most of the people are black. I halfway believe that, but I think she did. Only thing I will give y'all is I think she did deliberately want there to be a lot of color on the show. I think that part was deliberate. I will give y'all that. So, but my whole argument is if that's the cookout, that ain't our cookout. That is not. But if she put it like this, if she moved back to the States and she moved to Houston or Atlanta and had some Houston or it had some ATL thoughts in there, y'all would have a better argument if that was what was going on. But go ahead.
And this is the problem. Another example of why I take issue with how like pro-blacks even just conceive of the world, like just the way they see the world, the lens that they look through. The black people on Pearlie's show, even though they're Nigerian or whatever, but just like Clarence up here, you tried to sort of extend the protection of blackness to them because you when Bernard asked you about are they your brothers, you said no, but then you reluctantly was like, but they black, which is an acknowledgement of brotherhood. Let's not be tongue in cheek about that. And what I'm saying is that black people have been trying.
Hold on, Hood. Yeah, I gotta go refill my coffee. We heading into overtime. Support the stream, people. Support the stream, people. And the link is in the chat. Anybody else want to come up? But yeah, go ahead. Y'all got it.
Black people have been trying to have these conversations as if there is something totally and intrinsically unique about the black relationship conversation where even though we do go in on the particulars about black women, the general gist of it is the same exact conversation that's being had with the European guys or the white American guys or guys probably I don't know about Africa per se, but like guys in Asia are having this conversation about their Asian women in Asia. And so the black people being on Pearl's show isn't an example of Pearl using black culture per se. It's an example of black culture, black women specifically, actually being among modern women. Modern women are a phenomenon essentially across the globe at this point. And black women do have their place at the table of what's wrong with modern women. And it has nothing to do with the particulars of black culture at that point. It's something going on with all of culture and most of women.
That I completely agree with you on. It is an issue that's touching all races and all cultures. All I'm saying is it seems as if other cultures are able to have their disputes or conversations in a way that is not nearly as disrespectful as how we're doing it on both sides.
I don't know who you want to blame for that. I mean, I won't deny that point,
Everybody,
but it is what
everybody.
it is. That's just who we are. I
Okay,
mean,
that
I
and
don't know
that's
what to say about that. That is who we are.
and that's all I'm saying. I'm saying like, can we? Because overall, the black image is already a lot lower. I'm talking about American right now. Our image in this country overall is lower than other groups of people, and what we're doing is like cutting off our nose to spite our face. Because somebody might
Let
come
me
out as the
ask you.
victim. Go ahead.
By nose, I assume in this analogy, a nose represents black women, right? We're going to cut off black women to spite our face, right? So I would ask you a question though. In the grand scheme of the black community's image, what would you argue is the black manosphere's responsibility in maintaining the image of the black community? Like, what is it you would have us do?
Well, I don't think you would be responsible for maintaining it, but what I'm seeing now is, and I'm not saying you guys are doing this intentionally, but the black manosphere is going to spearhead in a movement that's going to further tarnish it because everybody's going to jump in on the conversation because they see there's money involved. Like podcasting
If you
is the
can diagnose the problem, then I have to ask again, what is it you would have us do? You clearly see an issue. You clearly see the moving pieces headed in a certain direction. So you can define the nature of a problem to a certain degree. Now that we're at that point, what is it you're asking of us?
well, I'm just respectfully suggesting that maybe the rhetoric could tone down a little bit and there could be a little bit more gatekeeping in terms of who gets to speak.
You mean
Okay,
like us letting? You mean hold on? You mean like us letting you come up here and say this bullshit, or do you mean we're supposed to somehow stop somebody from starting a channel and saying what the hell they want to say?
No, I mean like stuff like this, like you let me up, like that's what I'm talking about.
So, yeah, we do.
But
I'm
no,
keeping. I'm gonna keep it real.
We do need to not let simping ass niggas speak. Yeah, okay.
Well,
I just
what if? Hold on, real quick, fantastic. Let me just ask this one
niggas
controversial
always
question.
do this shit.
I don't know that you have any interest in this, Bernard. I'm just using you as a focal point. What if Bernard Riley were to score an interview with Nick Fuentes? Would he be like going against blackness to actually conduct the interview?
Oh no, I mean, well, it depends on what was said in the interview. That's all. Like for example, if Nick Fuentes said, "Man, I can't stand them niggas," and then Bernard Riley started laughing, that would be
That's it.
bad. But
I
other
said I
than
can't stand them niggas either.
yeah, that would be
I would be
kind of
wrong.
bad. But if he's just
Okay.
interviewing him like to get him on record as where he stands,
Yo,
I
that
don't.
would be a moment of national healing. That would be such a great moment of national healing. I swear to God, where a based white guy and a based black guy just, you know what, we both don't like these niggas. Like we could rebuild America on that energy, by the way. But all right, I'm done.
Yeah, that would turn man. It would be videos for 2 months straight if that happened. Oh my.
Man, we can't act. I'm a pass it to Fantastic, but we can't sit here and act like a big part of being black and becoming successful is figuring out how to get away from niggas. Like we like. I mean that is part of the deal. There's like okay, all right. I ain't even about to go there. That's a whole nother topic. But go ahead, Fantastic.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Bernard, man. Listen, brother, I'm just so curious, man. I've noticed this. Why, like everybody that's against, black manosphere, black male positive media, whatever, why they always lispy? And they love saying S's. Brother, why you so lispy, brother? You're extreme with all your S's, brother. You up here sounding like a whole snake. What's going on, man? Y'all don't check on that, man. Y'all don't, listen to yourself talk before you come up here to, to get them, to get over that lispiness, brother. Tariq Nasheed, lispy. Jason Black, lispy. This brother right here, lispy. This lispy shit is getting on my nerves, man.
for us to be the ones that's all these different things and all, and y'all niggas lispy as hell, man. I can't take a lispy nigga serious. That's all I got, man.
See, my radar on that ain't. I don't be noticing. Like the list got to be real strong for me to notice it. It got to be like that one dude.
Oh, Bernard, you were gone away, Bernard. But just roll it back and listen to the tape, Bernard.
Yeah,
it's just something that I picked up on, man. But yeah, man, I know this brother, his whole shirt wet on the front of his shirt. Gotta be whole shirt soaked.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!
That was a decent one. I'll give you that one. It was alright. It wasn't like a ha ha laugh, but okay. It was about a 5 out of 10.
All right. Shout out to Fantastic. Shout out to Fantastic. No, I did notice you. I did not notice your lisp. So you didn't you floated under the radar as far as that goes. But shout out to Solo Dolo with the $10. Well, that's green, but it's $10. I'm confused. That must not. Okay, either way. Shout out to you for the $10 super chat. Do appreciate a super sticker.
What do we get for $10? Everything you want.
Shout out to you. If there's any other ones that I missed, pull those up or drop that one down. Let me know. When you drop it down, that's how I know it's the last one. Okay, cool. All right. So where were we? I stepped away and came back. And y'all was talking about, I don't know how to get on if somebody black review went to. We'll circle back to this. I want to get Clarence Jr.'s response to this, because FD Signifier had nothing to say to it when Hood Conservative is like, yeah, he was basically like, the nerve of you niggas expecting this white girl to fight your black battle for you, and y'all using that to be more mad at black men than the white men that y'all supposed to be mad at or at war with. Like, what is the hell up with that? Take it in two parts. Why y'all mad because some white girl didn't fight y'all black battle for you?
That's not me. Like, I'm not mad at Pearl. I don't want Pearl to do anything for me or any black person. I'm truly not even interested in Pearl, honestly, at all.
Okay.
Like, and I don't want her to like be shut down or censored. I mean, she can keep doing her thing, making the videos, making money. All I'm saying is, black people who collaborate with her are just not even black people. Just if you collaborate with her, regardless of race, I'm looking at you a little skeptical.
The people who actually collaborated with her, they actually had to. They've recently distanced themselves from her.
A few of them have, yeah.
No. I mean, the those that collaborated with her they were fewer and further between than we than what maybe I missed something, but like people that actually got flew out and went on her show, they were fewer and further between, as far as from what I could tell. From what I could tell, that that's MTR, that's Melanie King that went down there. They distanced themselves from her.
I didn't know Melanie did that. I didn't see Melanie do that.
Well, that she basically said she don't want the any of the content that they did that's not out yet. That she basically asked her not to put it out. MTR and Melanie did that. So the content creators that are black and from the States, they did after this controversy, they did basically more or less break it off. They did more or less break it off. So that did happen. That did happen. So, and part of it, I do think they kind of yielded to the woke mob, but that's just me and my thought process and my perspective on it. But there is an issue with the pro-blacks expecting this white girl to fight their black battle for them, but it's under the guise of, well, if you got a black audience and then you shouldn't be having that on there dealing with new black issues like that. But I have not heard anybody properly substantiate the blackness of her audience, particularly the black Americanness of her audience. Nobody has actually adequately done that. That wasn't even on the table. Wasn't even on the table until to a pro-black by the name of George Macon threw it out there 4 months ago. I'm still skeptical. I'm still skeptical and have not seen proof. Still skeptical and have not seen proof, says MTR and Melanie showed their lack of shiny spine multiple times.
They said it's a business, man. She affecting the money, man. We got to keep her, especially
Yeah.
MTR. MTR already got a huge following. He like, I don't need this. I can keep going up on my own. I can, disassociate and keep doing my own thing.
Yeah, it looked clear. It looked like it was clearly business when he disassociated. And I like MTR. I rock with MTR. But all right. I think we're going to try to circle back into this and play some of this shit here and see what happened and see where it go. Because I think, cause I know Hood Conservative had some I think you said that there was some like Anton and people was pointing out some of the bullshit in what he was saying or accuracy in what he was saying. I don't know what the ABL and Anton conversation was about, but we'll play a little bit of that and hopefully get to a part to prompt you to break some of that down. And then that will probably call it. But let's play a little bit of this.
She wasn't the types of women that they had been seeing. And essentially, she was regurgitating Kevin Samuels' content. So I began working with Pearl. And from the beginning, I started to think that maybe this girl has a colonial mindset. Now, we all know that we don't want to be paranoid. So I kept working with her. However, the more I worked with her is the more that I saw. She had a colonial type viewpoint when it came to Black people. And I had to school her a few times on what it was like to be Black and the Black experience, and also what slavery and colonization was actually like.
Do you think that historical catastrophes must be compensated for?
No.
No.
That's stupid.
So then, I'm not agreeing or disagreeing.
Yeah.
So then, how come there were groups of people that got compensation then?
How come?
For instance, like Jewish people, Chinese people, Japanese people with the bombs. Like there were groups of people who got compensated.
I don't know.
So it wasn't fair.
What? Well, I'm talking about like when I think about group, I think about reparations. So I mean, maybe if the people were still alive today, like I don't know, maybe. But like when you said historical, I thought you meant like in the past, not the present.
Yeah, so like in the past, so like people talk about slavery. So in the past, you know, the Holocaust happened. In the past, the Japanese, but people got compensated for it.
Yeah.
There's a book, right, called How Europe Underdeveloped Africa. And when you read that book, you realize that the whole Industrial Revolution and stuff like that was started because of the colonization. And you just think,
let's stop for a moment.
Well, if you did
stop.
Okay.
Can't let it run too far anyway. But let me pose a question to whomever may care to answer this. The topic of that book he just mentioned being how Europe underdeveloped Africa, right? Now, this African man, well, he's descended somehow of Africa. He's this African man who is complaining about the colonial mindset of the Europeans. And by colonial mindset, I would only imagine he assumes that you being a white colonizer, your way is better. You know your way is better. And you're going to tell me to my Black face that your white way is better, right? But this colonial offspring, he is the offspring of colonization. He is now saying that Europe underdeveloped Africa. So you want the white man to colonize you fully, completely, right? You're saying that the colonizer, you're touting this entire book about how your big bad daddy colonizer didn't colonize you properly, and that's why you can't get on his level. If only Big Bad Daddy Colonizer would have thoroughly colonized my Black ass, I could probably get on his level. Is that not what that sounds like?
Well, I'm gonna agree and disagree. Like I agree with you that Black folk from any background, it's kind of not wise to be like, you messed us up and now you have to make us whole. Like I don't subscribe to that. But what I do think he's trying to say is, since you guys did us wrong, you didn't fully repay the debt. But my thing is, I would never expect anybody to fully repay that kind of a debt. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
Let me ask you a question. Outside of the price of a slave, because I'm pretty sure the price of a slave is probably like, I don't know, $1,000 in modern day money. But how much could you possibly like how could a debt like that ever be truly repaid? I think you got people chasing a waterfall. You're trying to swim up a waterfall by telling me that a debt like that could ever truly be repaid.
Yeah, it probably can't be because some of the numbers that I've heard are rather high, and I'm like, yeah, the likelihood of that amount ever being dispersed it's not going to happen.
Well, think about the irony of it all. Black people who were never slaves expect to earn money that is like 100 times the equivalent value of an actual slave.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that money was old, but it's been so long that it's like, like I can't sit there and say that I'm supposed to get a check when I was born in 1988. Like I can't, so it's kind of like at this point it's kind of over with. It's too late.
I was joking about this on one of my other streams, Bernard. Like there was this topic of somebody was saying how in regards to Pearl, how white people don't have any right to talk about slavery. And I was totally being an asshole about this, but I got to revisit that point because it was a valid point in my mind. Like, how does the slave master not have a voice in the slave conversation, right? Think about the insanity of that for a minute. Like, if you really want to understand how slavery worked, if you want to understand how McDonald's work, are you going to go up to the girl at the register and ask her how McDonald's work?
I know, but you're calling a modern day person. You're calling a modern day white person a slave master. So you kind of you're fucking up your other arguments by saying
no. I was telling you I was being an asshole about it. But
yeah,
the idea that white people in general have no voice in the slave conversation, right? Well, white people in general are the slave masters, right? We're being kind of metaphorical here, but if you're going to tell me that the slave master has nothing to add to the conversation about the value of a slave, you know goddamn well a slave is going to overvalue himself just because, what fuck else is a slave going to
do? Yeah, and real quick, since I know the B1 crowd is watching, let me throw this out there because, I don't want them jumping on me. The argument that they would probably make is this. It's not that us individually are owed money because we weren't there at the time. But the reason we right now should get a check is because the residual effects set all of us back from where we should be. And so this will just be putting us back to where we would have been if not for what happened. That's the argument they would make.
Okay. I mean, look, and I've said that the best case it can be made actually during Jim Crow. There's people who had things taken from them that they can actually trace it back to what their family lost and what that land would be worth today had it not been taken, and so forth and so on. Every person with African ancestry that's walking in America, that's been here since slavery, like that's a really hard logistical nightmare to even try to figure that out. If they figure it out, they figure it out. But I think a better case could be for like Jim Crow, but that's even you could get specific with that one. But I don't know. I'm not getting too deep into that right now. Freedman's Journal in the building. Go ahead. What you got?
Hey man, hey Bernard, hey panel, thanks for having me. I just came up he was talking about reparations, right? And it's just reparations is just like a social poker chip, right? It's just social leverage. No one's really serious about it, right? Because you noticed as soon as they started considering reparations, the cost went up, right? You're talking about, oh well, whatever, let's say $100,000 per person, and then people are like, well, $3 million. Well, no, now it's 5 million, and now it's this and that, right? So it was never about getting paid, right? It's the point of maintaining that social leverage. Because, like, matter of fact, you can look at Dr. Umar's. He went on Breakfast Club, right, talking about reparations, and then he went on he went on this ridiculous rant of like, we need to get paid for black folks' work. Like, we're going to take Michael Jackson's estate and all sales from anything that he has and give that, quote unquote, to black people. Like, we're just going
Hey,
to
Freeman,
appropriate. It was crazy.
Did you see what Umar said? We need reparations for black men dating white women.
I did not see that.
I swear to God, he said that. I swear to God.
It just becomes all the more ridiculous, right? They don't actually want compensation. It was just left out there because they figured it would never happen. So when they actually start talking about it, it's like, oh, it's got to become something else, man. Matter of fact, I was on, who was it? I was on Shay Charday stream, maybe like, this was a while ago, probably over a year ago. And I just made a super chat about, well, how much is it do you want for reparations to a guest on her show? And then he was like, well, it's not just about money. You know, it's about healing. It was a black woman. I'm just like, oh God, like, it's not about changing anything, right? It's not. If you put it out there, what dollar amount will get you to shut up about racism, right? No one's going for that, right? All of a sudden it becomes about something else. But anyway, that's all I want to say.
All right, good stuff. Yeah. Okay, we had to 3 hour 19-minute mark. Okay, we about to wrap this up. We're not gonna get some good stuff said in this video. We may have to Zapruder this one at a later date. We about to go ahead and wrap this thing on up, man. I'm tired. We'll be going live tonight. We'll be going live later tonight. But thank you to everybody who came through. Thank you, Hood Conservative. We gave sort of the teaser trailer of the Saturday show. Which should Clarence got that background.
My fault.
No, you good. Just mute up. But thank you everybody who participated in the stream in any way, shape, or form, who liked, shared, subscribe, super chat, Cashapp, did anything to support this in any way, shape, or form. Appreciate each and every one of you. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, we are out of here. Peace. We gone. Well, we not going yet. Now we gone.